Thank you.
I hate plays that don't have songs. I'll find a place to fit it in.
What's your Thanksgiving song?
No.
Pass. The cranberry sauce. We're having mashed potatoes. Ooh, the turkey looks great.
Len.
Thank you for loving me.
Len.
Thank you for being there.
Oh, God.
Everyone's thanking.
Len.
The whole world's thanking you.
Stop.
Thanking
Len.
us for thanking you.
Len.
Kill the turkey.
Please.
Best damn Thanksgiving episodes of anything that evered.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Comic Timing is member supported by listeners like you over at patreon.com/comic timing. It is the giving season, as a reminder, and we thank you for a giving. For as little as $1 a month, you continue to keep the lights on here, and you get some behind-the-scenes access to some articles by Chris Naudis, some behind-the-scenes audio or video when we have the time to do so, even occasionally some stuff by Raph, and maybe even some extra bonuses thrown in, like diary entries, audio diary entries, and the sort. We thank you very much for your continued support over at patreon.com/comic timing. If you want to give a one-time donation, that's over at paypal.me/IAM sci-fi. Thank you very much. Hey there, folks. My name is Ian Levinstein, and welcome to episode 267 of Comic Timing. And we are just before Thanksgiving here in the States, and I am thankful for one Adam Murdo, and that he is feeling significantly less under the weather than he was last week. So welcome back to the land of the living, Murd.
Yes, thank you very much, Ian. I'm very happy to be here, to be upright and breathing and in fair health. And as you say, I am feeling a whole lot better than I was last week and even last night.
Excellent.
I'm feeling strong. I'm ready to, walk the long walk of the previews catalogs with you tonight.
Yes, indeed. And as I am as well, we are thankful for comics, and we are thankful for continuing to put out this episode for you guys long after Diamond's previews no longer exist. So we'll be doing the multiple catalogs like we've been doing the past couple of months. Knock on desk. I am hopefully myself avoiding con crud. I feel good. I'm a little bit tired. Other than that, I'm good. Let's go ahead and keep that going.
May the condition persist.
Yes, absolutely. And for those of you who did get the opportunity to attend PAX Unplugged, like we did at the Comic Timing crew, Chris Naudis, Raph Suhu, Brandon Christopher, and myself, we hope you guys had a lovely time. They did officially announce that next year's con will be back in December. So that would be the first weekend of December 2026. And we will roll for initiative to see whether or not it's going to snow that day. But we will have to find that out next year. All right. These are the previews mainly for the month of January. Holy crap. We're already talking about 2026 books here. I feel like we were just talking about January 2025 11 months ago. It's crazy.
Time keeps on slipping into the future.
Half the reason I have you on, Murd, I swear. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yep. And
surprised how many times I've run into the Steve Miller Band.
Oh my God.
Time bubble.
Yep. And as stated, mostly stuff for January 2026 this month. We will have occasional, trades and whatnot that are way after that. But, we'll point that out when the time arises. And of course, Image is where we start out as usual this month. And we will begin here on page 2 of the Image catalog as Justin Jordan brings us Malevolent, number 1, with art by John Bivens and Felipe Sobriero. 30 years ago, we unleashed demons into the world, but humans can adapt to anything, even a demon-haunted world. Now humanity has created something new, a weapon that can kill demons, if she doesn't kill us first. New ongoing by Justin Jordan. As I said, here 32 pages for the first issue for the bright cover color of $3.99, and we alternate cover for $4.99. So $3.99 for a single issue here, but it's 32 pages, so a little bit more worth it to start off this new series of Malevolent. Kind of sounds like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, only demons, a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of Lazarus in there too. I think, since it's a future time period and a genetically engineered woman who has special killing abilities.
Yep, and it's completely humanity's fault. So that also
As
adds
usual.
to the Lazarus of it all. Yep. So, yep, interesting news.
And it's from the creative team of a thing called Spread. So if you've read and enjoyed that, maybe you'd like to give this a look too.
Speaking of which, along those lines, the Spread Compendium is also offered again this month for Image if you have not checked it out and you want to. But that's all available for you there on pages 1 and 2 of the Previews catalog. Now for something completely different, Jason Aaron and Mahmoud Asrar, two of the best creators in comics, are giving us a one-shot, and it's Bug Wars, the Spider Witch special. Spider and Witch have a Y in them. I just want to point that out.
Yes, they do not normally contain this letter.
But they do this
Just
time.
some of the ferocious innovation that Aaron and Asrar are bringing to this project already.
Of course. Through the many eyes of the spider witches of Wordweb, the most mysterious, seductive, and feared denizens of this twisted ecosystem are the characters behind the Bug Wars here, which have waged on an extra-length special that burrows deep into the shadowy world of the mites, the insectoid warriors who fight, live, and die in the grass-stained trenches of the Yard. Yeah, whole lot of allegory and puns going on here, and I am a-okay with that.
Yep, and many occurrences of the letter Y.
Indeed. Fantasy epic, action, adventure, a little bit of horror thrown in there for good measure. Jason Aaron, can't go wrong with that. And most importantly, a one-shot. And it's a 56-page one-shot for the initial price of $5.99. But you're getting extra story thrown in there for that price. Not too shabby. All right. As we move on a little bit further, we're getting ourselves a reprint of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, number 49 this month, as we continue the Hama Files edition of this, which was absolutely originally by Skybound and not by anybody else who uses corner boxes. But this is a reprint of Larry Hama and Rod Wiggum's, issue 49, involving Serpentor, from the original G.I. Joe run, originally with Marvel back in the day. And full reprint, ads and all here on page 5.
Oh, yes, and there is Serpentor himself on cover B.
Indeed. Meanwhile, issue 100 of something radically different.
Yes, it's clearly inspired by TMNT. It's the radically rearranged Ronin Ragdolls adventures. Ragdolls as in a breed of cat, yes, which is the kind of cat that our friend Chris's wife Keiko has.
There you go.
Yep, Prince is a big fluffy boy. And here are some anthropomorphic big fluffy kitties. And issue number 100, as Ian said, of a comic that I don't think ever actually had a number 1.
No.
It's a new concept, but, playing with numbering for the sake of humor, I guess.
Oh, yeah. And they threw the comics code on there for good measure. Kitty Scope Comics presents. It's a collector's issue. It's from a hit TV show that doesn't exist. It's a little bit of everything thrown in there. And it's plucked from the pages of Kevin Eastman and David Avallone's fan favorite Drawing Blood series and brought to life to enrich the world building. So it's literally by Eastman. So he's making fun of himself here.
Sure.
And this is Troy Little's inside joke continuation here of that. And the return of Overdog in this 100th first issue. So check that out on page 6.
Yes, Assorted Crisis Events lives on page 7. It's up to its 8th issue.
Indeed. Life in the gutter for this one. As a homeless comic book artist falls into the gutters, literally. Could Wally find his way back to life and reality, or is he lost in the blank white spaces between panels forever? Chef's kiss, no notes. That just sounds fantastic. Oh, man.
If you squint carefully at the literal blank space between the panels shown on the cover, you can see him huddling for shelter.
Absolutely.
That's good metafiction.
Indeed it be. And that's the, as said, 8th issue of Denise Camp and Eric Zawatsky's Assorted Crisis Events there on page 7. Scroll down a little bit further and we get to a reprint of Capes issue 3. So we get the return of Capes continuing here. The heroes of Capes Inc. are attacked. Many will die, but why is Spoiler Redacted doing this? And guess what? Spoiler Redacted. If you've read Invincible, you probably know who that is. But read to find out. If you don't, you're sure going to be surprised. Either way, this is issue 10. Issue 3 on page 10. Robert Kirkman, Mark Englert, Capes number 3. All right. Whole bunch of other stuff mid-storyline as we start the new year. So we'll skip through a whole bunch of that. Get to the end of the Dreadnought War in G.I. Joe issue 17, part 5 of this epic crossover. G.I. Joe versus Cobra versus the Dreadnoughts. Will the shocking end to the Duke and Cobra Commander team-up result in death? You'll have to tune in and find out yourself, soldiers. And that will be explained for you in full detail on page 22 of the catalog here. Joshua Williamson, Tom Riley, and Jordi Belair. And the very next page brings us the 18th issue of G.I. Joe post-Dreadnought War, which is a standalone Night Force covert op as Roadblock makes his Energon Universe first appearance. But will he be the newest recruit of Lady J and Flint's Night Force, or will he join a different group? Finally get Roadblock in on the Energon action in issue 18 of G.I. Joe. Fan favorite character?
I will take your word for it.
Mm-hmm. He's a Roadblock.
Makes sense.
Yep. As we get a little bit further on, issue 47 of I Hate Fairyland, Scotty Young, 3 away from the 50th issue of I Hate Fairyland. Art by Derek Lothman, and this is a gothic horror experiment in the BFF of Gertrudenstein. Sure, nothing's going to go wrong with that. I'm sure everything's going to go wrong. But,
of course.
Page 29 of that one. Very much in a Frankenstein mood with all 7 Frankenstein projects that have come out in the last 2 years in movie and TV. So this should be right up people's alley as well. Right. I think we can actually scroll down for the most part into the trades already, as everything else is very much mid-issue. Not a lot of new stories to be told. Although Transformers number 28, I will point out, just as we're going by here, as Mirage and Bulkhead are back in action. Get ready for Awesome, and get ready for more Robert Kirkman and Dan Mora. Transformers while we're at it on page 47.
I'm preparing myself as we speak.
Indeed. All right. On we go to the trades. And in the trades, we get volume 10 of Criminal, reprinted here, Brubaker and Phillips. And
who said that?
Yeah, what? Coming from somewhere. 272 pages of action here. This is from the summer of '88. Teague Lawless comes home to plan the biggest heist of his career, but Teague's son Ricky and his friends are starting down the same dark path their fathers are on, and this is about to become the worst summer of their lives. Criminal Cruel Summer, Brubaker and Phillips, Volume 10 of the Criminal Saga, on page 57. All for only $19.99. Very good price for that. Jimmy Robinson's 5 Weapons. We mentioned that in the past, and this collects all issues 1 through 10 for the first time in the popular new 6x9 format. This is a 13-year-old Tyler who's a pacifist enrolled in a school for young assassins. Right there is a pretty cool concept in and of itself. And he uses his razor-sharp mind while other people use their razor-sharp fists, swords, or guns. So hopefully that will work for him, but you'll have to read to find out. 5 Weapons trade paperback, Jimmy Robinson on the story and art, and kind of looks like it's made to be an animated series, to be honest with you, but... Fans of Assassination Classroom, Spy X Family, Deadly Class, Gotham Academy, and My Hero Academia, they recommend this 4 here in a 6x9 format. Perfect for the series. Available on page 59.
Ooh, well now.
Indeed. Yep. George Perez's New Teen Titans Artist Edition. Wow. Image Comics continuing to bring the fire on the artist editions here, and Wolfman and Perez classic first 40 issues. Ooh. Curated selection of pages from issues 1 through 40, that is. But there's a heartfelt introduction by Perez's longtime collaborator, Marv Wolfman himself, and this is an art book disguised as a comic collection. The only better way to see these pages would be looking over Perez's shoulder at his drawing board as he was doing it.
That's a nice way to put it. You know, an art book disguised as a comic collection. And I'm glad that they put it that way in the interest of full disclosure, because don't want people to think they're getting a complete trade here. It's only 192 pages, folks. It's not 40 issues worth of comics, but it's a sampling of some of the best-looking artwork from those 40 issues. Presented in the black and white pages printed in color fashion that has become like the standard for artist editions.
And it's about 75 cents a page here because it's 192 pages for $150. So you're definitely gonna be paying a pretty penny for it, but it's oversized. It's the size of the original art pages, and again, you're looking at this for the historical value of it more than anything else. And you can't beat that. You really can't. So any Perez fans, you have something to buy. That's on page 60 there. Rick Remender's The Seasons gets its second trade paperback, collecting issues 5 through 8 of that series, with artwork by Paul Azaceta on page 63. Cover both my bases on that one. And that's about it here for the Image catalog.
I think you spoke a bit too soon there, Ian.
There you go. Go right ahead.
This is one of the things that excites me most in this entire month's worth of catalogs. All right. Now, recently, as I've mentioned on this podcast, I've got my hands on both of Image's recent compendia of the entire run of Marvel Transformers comics of the first generation. And now, just when I thought I didn't have any more to read, now they're putting out a compendium of the Marvel UK comics, published across the pond from creators such as Simon Furman, Steve Parkhouse, Mike Collins, Ian Rimmer, James Hill, and artists such as John Ridgway, Mike Collins, Jeff Sr., Jeff Anderson, Barry Kitson, and the list goes on. Yes, so these are some of the British Transformers comics that Marvel published. And I remember reading a little bit about this stuff way back in the early 90s when I first started collecting, and the Generation 2 comic was starting to come out in the U.S. with input from some of these British creators. They were interviewed in Comic Shop News or something about how what a pleasure it was in the 80s to be able to, as one of them put it, infuse individual personalities in these individual tin boxes, these interchangeable tin boxes. And that turn of phrase is stuck with me. But yeah, that would have been a challenge of just taking toy products and turning them into characters. And I want to see how this particular slew of creators managed to do that. See if I think they cleared the bar set for them by their American counterparts, shall we say. And this is the first opportunity we'll have that. It's a compendium book 1, so there may be another one to follow. But this one as it's kind of a scattershot sampling of issues.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that the issues that are not included are probably American reprints.
That's what I was guessing, Murd. Yeah, is that these are the actual real runs, and as you said, the others could have very easily been reprints.
Yeah, so these are the original stories published in the British Transformers comic. And how many pages worth of comics do we have? If you scroll down just a little bit, Ian, I will tell the folks.
Of course. That is a holy cow. Wow.
1,064 pages for $65 American, pre whatever discount you get from your retail outlet of choice. Yeah, that's a lot of British Transformer comics, and if there's going to be a book 2, that means there's even more on the way.
Well, I appreciate two things. One, that they didn't have to change the name of Transformers like they did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles over at the UK, because ninja bad. In the UK, when the Turtles came out, they were the Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles. They had very strict laws about using the word ninja, apparently, at the time.
Right. I had never known that about British publishing law. I mean, it's probably similar to how the Comics Code Authority used to forbid words like horror and terror in the titles of comics.
Yep.
Specifically those rules were targeted specifically at EC Comics.
Yes, indeed.
Back in the bad old days. I don't know what it was that turned off the British authorities to ninjas exactly, but it's an interesting piece of info you've just given me there, Ian.
Oh yeah, and clearly they didn't have anything against Transformers because there's nothing in the name to actually make them change nothing. But
that which transforms.
Yeah, but it does make me wonder just how many other titles like this there were at the time. Whether or not there are, for example, UK G.I. Joe comics, whether or not there could have been Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, UK comics that we don't know about because, us US folks were centered entirely on this. For that matter, I've mentioned it before, and I will continue to mention it. I want those fan fiction Mexican Spider-Man comics, the ones that continued Spider-Man as if Gwen Stacy was not killed off for a solid 100 issues after Spider-Man went that way here in the U.S. Literally sanctioned Marvel fanfic, essentially, that was being written over in Mexico in Mexican comic magazines at the time. So this just really just lights my brain afire and wants to see everything that I could possibly see from other countries. So maybe we'll get there.
Yep, it's an intriguing prospect.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But yes, very good thing to be on nearly quite literally the last page of the Image catalog here on page 66. So do check that out if you're a huge fan or even if you're a cursory fan of Transformers. Yep.
Yep, do not sleep on that. Glad we slipped that in there at the last minute.
Absolutely. And meanwhile, over we go to Dark Horse.
Ah, yes.
All right.
Following the pattern of the old, no longer existent catalog.
Indeed, because now we can do whatever the hell we want with that. So, and Dark Horse is another one of the catalogs that actually gives me page numbers, so that's why I like it. But over we go to start us off with the new Mignola of the month, as there's always going to be a Mignola comic coming out for Dark Horse. This month it's The Crown, A Tale of Hell, by Mike Mignola and Todd Mignola.
That's right. It's a brother act here, teaming up to co-write a story about Hellboy's demonic brothers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Appropriate indeed. Hellboy's brothers fight for control of Pandemonium in this demonic family reunion. But it isn't just the siblings who get involved in the power struggle, as their mother returns from her prison for the first time in 100 years and has plans of her own. I've never read a comic with Hellboy's mom in it. Well, of course, maybe this is just maybe they're Hellboy's half brothers, and
could be
it's their mother is not his mother. I don't know, but anyway, The important thing is it is a Mike and Todd Mignola production with art by Warwick Johnson Cadwell and letters by Clem Robbins.
Yep. Very cool. This is indeed a prequel series, so get some nice behind-the-scenes previous lore in the Hellboy world. Brotherly and motherly action involved. 32 pages for $5. This one, of note, by the way, this actually comes out in February. So February 11th, 2026, not January. So just want to point that out here. And I'm trying to point out as well that, that's the case with most of these Dark Horse books from the looks of it, weirdly enough. So... okay. Yeah. This is the November catalog, though. I can confirm that.
Yep, says it right there at the top margin.
Mm-hmm. All right, so they're definitely soliciting a whole bunch of stuff here. I'm going to go just in case to the Penguin Random House website and make sure that I didn't accidentally download the wrong book, and if I did, then we will be able to adjust that. But my download says November, so I'm going to believe that. All right, let's see.
Well, Ian, I've already placed my DCBS order, and these are the comics that they had available for pre-order.
Fantastic.
On their site. So
Okay.
I think these are, in fact, the right solicits.
Good to know. All right, good. Yeah. In fact, I'm opening up the yes. Okay, good. Yeah. They actually already have the Dark Horse catalog for December available on Penguin Random House's website, and those are solicitations for March. So, yep, they're just doing stuff stupid early for some reason. So, oh well.
Better that than stupid late.
Very true. Yep. Speaking of things that I'm glad that they're doing, how about here Night City by Matt Kindt and David Lapham, two excellent creators from the Berserker world, bringing us their version of Superman, essentially. Fight Club meets Superman, that is.
Yes, a legendary hero is caught between two worlds. By day, he soars as a symbol of hope, but the moment he falls asleep, he enters a universe devoid of heroes, and he leads a mundane life. So it's one of those classic, like Bronze Age Superman versus Clark Kent kind of stories. As the pressure of his dual universes mount, his heroic self begins to crack, pushing him toward a mental breakdown. So, yes, it's the closest thing to straight superheroics that you're likely to see from these two particular creators. But even so, it's clearly it's a Black Hammer kind of deconstruction of superheroes.
Yeah.
By Kindt and Lapham of 100 Bullets.
Yep. Yeah, and this is going to be a 3-issue mini, so get a nice compact story there in 3 issues as they go through. So get yourself some Night City action. I'm sure the collection of this will be a very fun read as well there on page 6. Really?
And I got to hand it to Dark Horse. It's good of them to tell us so plainly. I mean, even in like differently colored font, how many issues each series is. If it's a mini series, they come right out and they tell you.
Yes. Yeah, as opposed to hiding it like Marvel and DC tend to do sometimes. So, absolutely the case, and really like the artwork style here. It's a simple yet not simplistic art style that really tells the story, kind of gives it approaching a Silver Age feel, but also uniquely modern in its sensibilities. So, really appreciate it. Good stuff there. On page 6 and the follow-up page there on page 7. All right. Getting through a whole bunch of other stuff that's mid-storyline. We're going to go down to Powers 25, issue 6. A reminder, this is a 12-issue series being told here, bringing Powers back for its 25th anniversary. And we are now halfway there. The original Powers team of Brian Michael Bendis and Michael Avon Oeming spinning a new yarn in the Powers world. Set to be released on February 18th on page 14. And the Umbrella Academy Plan B gets its 4th issue. Following the events of Hotel Oblivion, this 6-issue series by Wei Mba continues to be still told here. Complete follow-up to Hotel Oblivion, and one that will not be a Netflix series because that Netflix series ended. Okay, on we go to page 17 here as the trade paperback of something that you were very much looking forward to, Archie versus Minor Threats, is making itself known.
Yep, this is Patton Oswalt, comedian and sometime writer, and also his colleagues Jordan Blum and Timmy Heeg, and artist Scott Koblish, whose work we've gotten to know a bit better in recent months thanks to his contributions to the covers for the new History of the DCU. Well, it's a team-up between Archie and his pals from Riverdale and the heroes and villains of Patton Oswalt's own little Astro City reality of Minor Threats.
Yep.
And it looks like Sabrina the Teenage Witch and Salem are the catalyst for this meetup, judging by the cover image we're seeing here.
Certainly seems about right.
So we've got his Oswald's central character, Frankie Follis, a.k.a. the sometime toy-themed villain Playtime, and Archie and friends, and in a 4-issue miniseries collected in 1 volume here.
Yep. And fully available for everybody on page 17. That would be 120 pages for $19.99. Yep.
Hidden stores in late March.
Indeed. And then Mr. Eberly may be interested in Quick Stops Volume 3, the full 4-issue edition of this. I know he picked up the singles for a few of these, but this collects all 4 issues of the Volume 3 of Quick Stops by Kevin Smith, with artwork by Ryan Gajda, and that is available for you on page 18.
Mm-hmm. If you remember Chris talking about that heartfelt, self-narrated tribute from Smith to Shannon Doherty, that's included in this collection.
Yes, indeed. Yep. And Dogma continues to tour finally after all these years as well. So Kevin Smith is doing a lot these days, and good for him on that. Lavender Jack, Volume 1 looks interesting to me here. Okay. Yep. Dan Schady and Jen Manley Lee. The dawn of the 20th century. The city of Gallery is a place of science, diversity, and wealth, but it's also held in the clutches of a corrupt ruling class that's squeezing it for all it's worth. Enter Lavender Jack, a devilish vigilante whose fighting prowess and advanced technology make him a nightmare for Gallery's elites. But they're not about to loosen their grip on the city without a fight. They've got some devils of their own.
Well, sounds like a good period piece there.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
The Shadow meets the Gilded Age.
Good way of putting it. Yeah. And this is a webcomic that is making its way to print for the first time out of Dark Horse. And updated visuals to go along with it, and where this is essentially the full first season of this webcomic version of Lavender Jack, collected in trade paperback form on page 21. Good old-fashioned noir. And a library edition of something by 2 of the most well-known creators in comics, Mark Miller and Greg Capullo. I don't even really remember hearing that much about this, to be entirely honest with you. But
neither did I, no.
Yeah, Reborn in full library edition here. 208 pages for $50. It's all about a character by the name of Bonnie Black. She's reborn into Adistria, a sci-fi fantasy world that's locked in a raging battle between good and evil. And this is collected for the first time in deluxe oversized hardcover format with a dust jacket.
Oh, yeah, she's reunited with her dead dad and dead dog in this afterlife. But she can't find her dead husband, who was murdered decades earlier, and so there's your quest element.
Indeed. Yep.
Bonnie and dad and dog going looking for her dead hubby.
Kind of feels like a underworld Wizard of Oz in some ways to me. Whether or not that's actually what it is, you'd have to read to find out, but that seems to be the general feel of it all. Well, this road is most definitely not emerald.
No.
All right. On we go here. That was available on page 22. And then Star Wars Tale from the Nightlands. Always like to see Dark Horse Star Wars collections of any kind.
Absolutely.
Yep. And this collects the 3 issues of the Tales from the Nightlands Star Wars series that Kevin Scott and Sue Lee did into one collection on page 23. Right. Point out here on page 25, The Girl Who Draws on Whales.
It's a great title.
Gotta love it. Yeah. Ariella Cristantina, artist of the Eisner Award nominated graphic novel Adora and the Distance, was in and of itself is an excellent title. Set in a fantasy world several centuries after the Great Flood, sister Wangi and young brother Banyu live in a sea village. Wangi has a special bond with the great whales that visit their sea village, and they allow Wangi to draw on their backs. Sometimes they return with new drawings on them. Wangi believes that there are other sea villages or island settlements scattered around, and that they are sending her messages. But none of the elders listen to her. One day a new whale arrives in the village alone, wounded and dying. This whale has a new drawing on her back that doesn't look like the previous ones. Inspired by this mystery, Wangi vows to investigate. And that is the general premise of The Girl Who Draws on Whales. Yeah. Very interesting, fascinating fantasy future adventure here that really has me intrigued.
Yeah. It's set in a water world-like reality, but it's a little more peaceable in tone, and it's got elements of Maori mythology from the looks of it.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Yep. And this one, 120 pages, $17.99. The Girl Who Draws on Whales on page 25. And then just in time for more Stranger Things, because there's finally new Stranger Things. As somebody pointed out on online, the entire series of The Good Place started and ended before Stranger Things actually finished. and now we're finally getting to the conclusion of this series while most of the actors are already old enough to vote. But Stranger Things Tales from Hawkins 2, some in-between series stories here, all 4 issues of that series available in one trade on page 26. And then Tex Arcanum by Christopher Monfey and Miguel Martos on that very same page. First 4 issues of that. And let's see if there's any manga hiding at the back here. Here we are. The Credits Roll into the Sea. That's another good title right there.
Yeah, I like it.
Yep. John Terracini and Jocelyn Allen. So John Terracini is, I assume, probably one of the no, he is actually the author of Witch of Thistle Castle. So this is for the first time in English, the critically acclaimed manga that's perfect for fans of BL Metamorphosis and Hiraya Sumi. I don't know what either one of those are, but those of you who are probably closer on your manga reading probably know exactly what they're talking about. But just what are you going to do with the rest of your life? It's the question you'll always have to answer no matter your age. Umiko Chino is a 65-year-old retired woman in mourning for her late husband. Remembering how they used to watch films together, Umiko goes to the movie theater for the first time in years, where she meets Kai, an attractive, ambiguous young man who studies filmmaking at a nearby art school. They would seem to have nothing in common except for this. Both of them sometimes like to look more at the way the audience reacts to a movie than the movie itself. Kai believes Umiko has the same deep desire he possesses to experience how people respond to something they made, and challenges her to stake the rest of her life discovering that thrill. So a manga all about discovering a love for film.
Mm. Yep. It's a great concept.
Indeed. Yep.
And it's in grad school, this would have been... We might have referred to this among ourselves as audience reception theory, the movie, the comic.
Nice.
Plus the makings of a possible little Harold and Maude romance in the middle of it.
Certainly a possibility. Yep. Yeah. The credits roll into the Sea, Volume 1. Available for you there on page 31. As a note, the first time this has been translated into English. For something that has definitely been in English before, Lone Wolf and Cub Deluxe Edition Volume 2. You're just getting it as fancy and schmancy as you can possibly get it. Kazuo Koike and Goseki Kojima are the writers behind this, with translation by Dana Lewis. And this was presented in its original right-to-left format. New cover with grain texture, burnishing, and foil stamping, and 7x10 in size. Available for you there on page 32. It is hard to believe that they used to try to reverse the artwork for comics from Japan. Just, no. Bad idea.
Yeah, and yet it's an idea that had a lot of traction for a long time.
I know. Yep. So was calling it Japanime and stuff like that. Japanimation was the term for anime. Like, no, call it anime. Come on, people. A rumph. Also getting a book 2 for Old Boy in similar fashion on page 33 as well. And that finishes out Dark Horse. All right. We go to IDW, and IDW this month starts us off with, shockingly, Godzilla on the cover. What?
And a Turtles thing right on the front page.
Exactly. Yep. Issue 14. This is Gene Lin Yang taking over the series. Artwork by the one and only Freddie E. Williams II. And bold new chapter of Ninja Turtles begins here as Ujigami strikes again. The mysterious new villain has claimed another victim in their drive to make the city safe at any cost. Quotations around safe. While the Turtles still struggle to get any upper hand on their new adversary, Donatello has suspicions about their true identity that may mean a whole new set of problems for our half-shell heroes. So Gene Lin Yang is certainly a good person to follow this up after Jason Aaron, as he has history in stuff like Avatar: The Last Airbender, which in some ways has similar roots to Ninja Turtles. And I love Gene Lin Yang as a writer to begin with, so I think he'll do a damn fine job with the Turtles here on page 2, issue 14 here. As we go further down. Issue 3 of that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles X Godzilla crossover that Tim Seeley's working on with Firo P on page 6 of the catalog.
Raph's still looking forward to that, I hope.
I'm sure he most definitely is. Yep. And there was unfortunate news out of Nickelodeon recently as part of the Paramount Plus merger and acquisition, that Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the animated series, has been canceled as of season 2. So that will be concluding its run fairly early. And whether or not there'll be anything to follow that up animation-wise for the Turtles remains to be seen. I know they just put out a new short in the theaters. I think as of December, it'll be out. And I think also they are theoretically working on a second movie of this new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So, well, we still have that, but no new animated series past the second season, unfortunately. Either way, Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 3 available for you on page 7.
Yes. You still got a comic, folks.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Best of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Collection Volume 6, jumping all around with Eastman and Laird stories from days gone by, along with some stuff by Tom Waltz, Dean Clorane, and others. Artwork by Jim Lawson, Mateus Sandaloco, Ken Mitroni, and others as well. Get some spotlight shine on Nobody, Ray Fillet. Always love me some Ray Fillet. Old Hob and Renee here for you on page 10. And Godzilla Legends Mothra, Queen of the Monsters. Collected in full. Story by Sophie Campbell. Artwork by Matt Frank. Full trade paperback available of that story on page 12. And damn fine artwork as preview on the next couple pages. That is some really well rendered art. Nicely done. And Van Jensen's Godzilla Heist, available on page 14, with some similarly nice artwork on page 15. All right. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Rite of Spring number 5, available here. Martha picked up Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, the first miniseries in full trade paperback at New York Comic Con, so I'll be reading through that shortly. And this is an Eisner Award-winning series as well, so this is the follow-up series that is close to its conclusion on page 19.
I hope Martha enjoys it.
I hope so, too. All right, hold on. Gotta get my Twilight Zone ready. All right,
get your Serling set up.
All right, here we go. The scene is set. A beautiful lake in summer. A houseboat for the weekend. When Laura takes her abrasive brother Chet on a birthday vacation, their relationship is already wobbling on its last leg. A loving sister and her devoted boyfriend will try, desperately, and one final time, to salvage a relationship with a once loving little brother, now grown to be a hateful young man. But when all three are plunged into worlds of their deepest desires, will they even want to find each other once again. National Book Award winning cartoonist Nate Powell of the March Trilogy serves as your guide into the Twilight Zone. Yep, so Nate Powell's take on the Twilight Zone in this 4th issue from IDW Dark, which still looks like Ib Dark, but what can you do? And
that logo is... it needs to die a death pretty soon.
Agreed entirely. But this series should continue on as long as it possibly can. I'm very happy that it exists, and that's available for you there on page 22. And Blood Honey gets a new collection here by Sean Peacock. Exciting cat and cat game as 2 teens try to murder each other in increasingly elaborate fashion. Yeah.
Who needs promposals when you can have elaborate murder schemes?
Exactly. That's how people truly fall in love. But page 23 gives that for you in spades. And then Ryan Ferrer gives you I Can Sell You a Body, or I Can Sell You a Body, if you want to call it that. Down on his luck, TV medium finds himself on the run from the cops, the mob, the Vatican, and a legion of ghosts looking for available bodies. A premise, to say the least. Oh, man.
TV psychic turned clairvoyant for hire turned supernatural real estate salesman.
I feel like we should just...
Reverse exorcisms to get ghosts into... What's it going to take to get you into a new body today?
I got the reverse exorcism. All right. Okay. But he's the Uncle Ruckus of exorcists. So page 24, I Can Sell You a Body, by Ryan Ferrer, artwork by George Cambadeus.
Some real potential in that concept.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the artwork kind of looks like gritty Archie, if that makes any sense.
Yep, I see where you're coming from there.
Yeah, very much suited for it, though. All right. Issue 4 of Star Trek The Last Starship by Kelly and Lanzig with Adrian Bonilla on page 27. And Lower Decks reaches issue 15. Tim Sheridan and Vernon Smith. Yet another volume I picked up a copy of at New York Comic Con was volume 1 of the Lower Decks series, and I cannot wait to sink my teeth into that. I wish there was more Lower Decks animated, but at least we have it running in comic book form.
Yeah, I guess one of these days I'll see some of that.
Oh, it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Whole bunch of the Rick and Morty animators and a little bit less insane. Okay, a lot less insane than Rick and Morty, but it certainly has its insane moments.
As regular Trek does too, of course.
Oh, of course, yeah. And of course, one of my favorite episodes of Brave New Worlds is the crossover episode with Lower Decks, where we get to meet 2 of the characters in live action for the first time. So, quite good. Yep. All right. We also get Ryan North's Star Trek Shax's Best and Worst Day. From the humorous world of Lower Decks comes 2 adventures featuring the USS Cerritos' security chief doing what he does best, fighting fascists in these comics based on the hit series. So separate security, the man in charge of security getting himself some separate Star Trek Lower Decks action here by Ryan North and Derek Charm on page 30. The Lore War, which I just really like saying. It's just that they did anything that's alliterative like that, especially if it's Star Trek. I mean, Lore War, Lore War, Lore War.
It is a very satisfying rhyme. And it makes good sense when you realize that there's a character named Lore, as I just barely do. He's Data the android's brother.
You better believe it. Yep. And unlike Data, he bad. He very bad. He no good. He bad. This is Christopher Cantwell, Kelly Lanzig, and Ryan North, all involved with the storytelling behind this. This collects Lore War #1, the main Star Trek series 31 through 32, Star Trek Defiant issues 26 through 27, and the Lore War Shax's Worst Day, and Star Trek Omega, available there for you on page 32. All right, and we go to Top Shelf inside of IDW. Pigwife That's all I have to say. No, Pigwife is a beautifully disturbed.
Go on.
Okay, fine. And at the beginning, I just want to sing Green Day. Welcome to paradise. Accidentally trapped in an underground bunker, a teen girl must navigate the bizarre secrets within. So, beautifully disturbing, charming, terrifying, weird, and visually stunning. It's everything I've ever wanted in a horror story. Will Carsola, co-creator of Adult Swim's Mr. Pickles, has that to say. And if that's coming from that guy, and Mr. Pickles itself was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in my life, this shit's going to be weird.
Yes, it's true. If it's weird by the Mr. Pickles guy's standards, then yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything he ever wanted in a horror story. And Mr. Pickles was pretty much a horror story itself.
100%. Yeah, evil dog, really, really strange satanic vibe to it. Yeah, so Pigwife available for you there on page 34. Very frightening, well-rendered, dark artwork in the following pages as well. Always like when they go with the black first to make it that much more moody on the interior artwork, similar to how Batman the Animated Series would layer black first and then color upon it to give it that moody feel. Available there for you on page 34 and 35. And then John Lewis and Andrew Aiden's complete trilogy of March available. I remember this being very well regarded. And this is all three paperbacks of March available in one hardcover form and in softcover. So complete trilogy available for you there on page 36. 588 pages of story for $22.99, available in February. All right. Luna Express by Campbell White. Once again, spelled with a Y. Between crummy day jobs and nights out on the town, Celeste and her friends can barely find time to use their superpowers. Sailor Moon meets late capitalism in this deliriously epic graphic novel bursting with life and vibrant color. That's a premise that immediately grabs my attention. Campbell White, Luna Express, available for you on page 40 in full. All right. And on we go to Alien Books as we get Valiant Beyond, the Exo Man of War, the God Hunter. That is a very, very long title.
Yeah, that's 3 titles for the price of 1.
Yes. But it's Steve Orlando bringing us further Exo Man of War action here on page 45. Part 1 of 4 of The God Hunt. Travel to the Heaven of the Mind. Good to see Valiant continuing along in its Alien book form on page 45 here.
Yep. And good to see people like Steve Orlando and Fred Van Lente contributing scripts, because they're good writers who deserve to continue to work, and also they can tell some strange yarns, and it seems like that's what this incarnation of Valiant needs.
Absolutely. Yep. And speaking of which, the second issue of the all-new Harbinger by Mr. Van Lente is on that very next page, page 46. And then issue 3 of Tales of the Shadow Man, available for you as well by A.J. Ampadu on page 47. And guess what? That's the end of the IDW catalog.
All righty.
Okay. Touch on Titan real quick, and then we'll head over to DC. And the Titan catalog.
Yep.
There we go.
Gorilla cover.
Yes, indeed. They sell books, you know.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yes, and I agree. Jamie D would be very happy, as we do get a return of Kong in this very catalog. They don't believe in numbers, but I'm going to believe in numbers for them. So this is page 7. An official continuation of the Skull Island animated series, Escape from Skull Island number 1 of 4, by critically acclaimed writer Simon Furman, with artwork by Christopher Jones. That's a damn good creative team right there for a continuation of an animated series. Nicely done. Trapped on Skull Island, a desperate band of survivors struggles against the land's relentless horrors while an ancient threat rises from below. But as chaos unfolds, flashbacks reveal Kong's turbulent youth, his battles, losses, and the primal instincts that shaped him into the island's sovereign. Getting some early days of Kong thrown in there in this continuation.
Yep. Getting, Kong Year One, maybe.
Pretty much, yeah.
Brought to you by Simon Furman, author of Six Gun Gorilla.
Yes, indeed. And now he works on Seven Gun Gorilla here. But, official.
Always upping the Gun Gorilla ante,
Always. Officially in the Monsterverse, whatever that has going for it outside of it being a land in Universal now, but the Monsterverse, we tried to do it with Tom Cruise and the Mummy, and it failed miserably, but we still have the rights to it, so we're going to call anything we can the Monsterverse. So good for you.
Well, actually, I think the Tom Cruise thing was going to be the Dark Universe.
Oh, you're right.
Universal Monster. Yeah, Monsterverse is Godzilla. And,
you're right. Yes.
Kong and kaiju type stuff like that.
You are correct. I'm getting my universes confused. There's too many damn universes out there with similar nomenclature. But yes.
Yep, it's perfectly understandable. And there are indeed multiple monster universes competing for your dollar and attention.
And multiple universes involving Godzilla, for that matter. But this is specifically the Monsterverse here for Godzilla and Kong. So yes,
just witness Godzilla stomping around in the Marvel universe, for example, and teaming up with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and the list goes on.
And the DC universe, and IDW, and Titan. He's everywhere, baby. He's everywhere.
That lizard is a media whore.
Yes, he is. Speaking of media whores, Conan the Barbarian. Year 3 of the Titan heroic Conan legacy continues. Jim Zub continuing on the writing chores for that as we get to issue 28, The Conquering Crown. The king of Aquilonia has gone mad, or so the rumors say. A tyrant sits upon the throne, and all will suffer until he is deposed or dead. And that is the story behind issue 28 here. The Scott Campbell cover is the best thing I've ever seen. Absolutely love how ridiculous it is, but all for it, baby.
Oh, look at how happy they both are.
I know. Yep. Page 12 there for issue 28 of Conan the Barbarian. And then issue 12 of Savage Sword of Conan by Chris Ryle, Fabian Nicieza, and Patrick Zerker.
That's another byline or two that I'm very happy to see.
Mm-hmm. And the artwork by Gabriel Rodriguez. I mean, come on. Wow. Good. Bringing it home with this story, to say the least. Savage Sword of Conan, issue 12 on page 13. All right. Issue 4 of Little Nightmares, Descent to Nowhere. That's based on the best-selling horror game of the same name. 4th and final issue there. Lonnie Nadler, Dennis Menhier. Available for you there on page 20, which means there should be a collection of said thing to come shortly. And Craniacs, issue 404, for all of you who've been reading it by the one and only Shally Fish and Joe Simcoe. Love us some Fish.
Yes, indeed we do.
Definitely a send-up cover here in Doctor Who world.
Okay, I guess there's a giant blue button there to let us know, as if we couldn't tell just by looking.
I know, right? Yeah. I mean, it's not quite 100%, but they're definitely doing a Days of Future Past send-up. So
yeah, it's unmistakable.
Yep. Past that, Titan got some manga going. 3-minute Bodyguard Yoko-chan. That might be my favorite name of the entire catalog, but Yoko-chan, a fierce, no-nonsense bodyguard, is hired to protest an ordinary schoolboy. There's just one catch. Jose can only afford her for 3 minutes a day. Hence, 3-minute bodyguard Yoko-chan. I'd love to know what her actual rates are that he can only afford 3 minutes.
And how quickly can she get there to start that clock?
There you go. Heroes for Hire by the hour, that's basically. So Susanna O'Hara and Shino Sakamoto are your writer and artwork here for this Titan manga, available on page 25. And then Scavengers, Another Sky, delivers the ultimate high-stakes adventure packed with intense action, intriguing characters, and a plot full of twists. What a twist! as Treasure and Terror collide with a lead character that looks like she is below the high school age, but probably not, because that would be weird. In a hidden research facility known as the Bus Stop, a fearless crew of treasure hunters known as scavengers embarks on dangerous missions into the Black Parade, a mysterious parallel world filled with untold riches. Their mission: to gather valuable loot and earn $1 million to gain their freedom. Suicide Squad meets Sliders meets Alien. Like, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on here in Scavengers Another Sky by Rio Furube, and I'm in for it. This sounds like a fascinating story.
I was going to say, if it meets Sliders, you're probably interested.
I am interested. I am indeed interested. They had me at Parallel World. Page 27 for that, and that is some freaky ass artwork to go along with it on page 28. Yowzas. Yep. All right, and that brings us to the end of Titan, which we will then run through very quickly without talking about it when we get to the Lunar Catalog, but onward we go to DC. All right, and DC this month. Guess what? We're still in KO. I repeat, we're still in KO.
Hooray.
But people are fighting people.
8 final combatants. Goody.
DC KO issue 3, available on page 1. It's tag team time as the Omega tournament reaches its endgame. Finally, the final 8 combatants are put to the ultimate test. Finally, confronted with a decades-long stay in their own personal hell. Emotions run high as heroes falter, villains revel, and the heart of Apocalypse eyes its new King Omega. In the end, only the final 4 will reign. Scott Snyder, Javi Fernandez, DCKO issue 3 on page 1.
Yeah, there's some great creators contributing to this thing, but it's just not a great idea.
Yeah. Joshua Williamson, Dan Mora, DCKO Nightfest number 3. Speaking of good creators, there they are.
Yep.
On page.
Case in point.
Yep, and we do get some excellent designs for Batman's wards in their full bat suit, essentially, as we're moving forward here. But yeah, DCKO Nightfest issue 3 on page 2. We get Jeremy Adams and Travis Mercer in DCKO The Kids Are All Right special. This may be the tie-in that I wind up reading, quite frankly, as we got John Kent involved here. He always wanted to be a Titan when he grew up, but now that he's working alongside them in an effort to evacuate Earth, he didn't think he'd be stuck babysitting young sidekicks. But he is. As the kids sneak off to enter the fray and stop Granny Goodness, John will have to show these young heroes the ropes so they can save the day and prove there's no age requirement to being a superhero, and you won't want to miss the shocking finale. Very interesting here. We got a whole bunch of sidekicks and Batgirl. Batgirl's not that young, so...
Yeah, there's a couple who are too recent for me to even recognize them, and of course Jay Garrick's recently introduced daughter Judy Garrick, the Boom, I think they call her. I don't even remember.
Correct. The Cheshire Cat looking one, I believe, may be Black Canary's new sidekick, if I remember correctly, but don't hold me to that.
I will not.
Yep. And there's a Todd Knock variant for this one, so yes, please. Yep. DCKO, The Kids Are All Right special. You got the artist of Young Justice involved with something about kids. Job well done on page 3.
And Jeremy Adams is writing it, so it will indeed be, as the title suggests, all right.
Indeed. Yep. Then Joshua Williamson continuing his Superman run along with Eddie Barrows and Eber Ferreira as we continue the DCKO tie-in. But it's Superman and Lex Luthor teaming up and all that jazz on page 4 here in issue 34. But Justice League Unlimited continues to have Electric Blue and Batman Beyond, so enough said on that one. Mark Waid and Dan Mora.
Few members of the Gold Team are definitely going to be buying that.
You better believe it. And the Blue Team, for that matter.
Yeah, I'm down for it, too. I'm buying every issue of JLU as long as, Mark Waid is writing it.
Absolutely.
Speaking of Mark Waid,
indeed. still getting some Flash action from him along with Christopher Cantwell. As the Dark Legion chased the Flash and Impulse to a pivotal moment in Flash's history, the moment when Barry Allen was struck by lightning. Yeah, let's make sure that continues to happen, or else we're going to have another Flashpoint in our hand. And we don't like Flashpoints. Flashpoints are bad.
Yep, I've barely recovered from the last one, and it was nearly 15 years ago.
Exactly, yep. Flash number 29 there on page 6. And the Earth is Reborn by John Layman and Titans issue 31. Up to Donna Troy and Roy Harper to hold back New Apocalypse as it attacks. And you get some Pete Wood's artwork to go along with it there on page 7. Man, stop putting people that I like in these books and making me want to buy them. I mean, come on. Like, Jeremy Adams writing more Kyle, like, okay, like, fine, I'll read it, whatever. Jeremy Adams, Cyan Torme, DCKO, Green Lantern Galactic Slam #1. It's like wrestling mixed with Green Lantern, mixed with KO. Like, come on, yes, just take my money, and by money I mean DC Infinite, because I'm not buying a copy. But still, like, come on, this is made for me.
Yeah, I think they may be twisting your arm here, Ian.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh no! Oh dear heavens, no! Is Omega Omega Bum Man about to enter DCKO fray? Oh my God! An entire cavalcade of brawlers is right behind him. And are there tables? Somebody get the tables! Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you very much. On page 8.
Yeah. I noticed on that cover also the character from the old 90s Superboy series and also Secret Six, Knockout.
Ah, yes.
So this is going to be a context in which her character will probably make more sense than it ever has before. She's an apocalyptic brawler. She's basically wanted to do like intergalactic super wrestling her whole life without even knowing it.
Yep.
And now she's going to get her chance thanks to Jeremy Adams.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, in Absolute Batman number 16, Batman goes to hell. Go to hell? Yes, that's what's happening. Scott Snyder, Nick Dragotta continuing the Wonder Woman Batman crossover that began in her own Absolute book. Now here we are with the Absolute Batman part of it in issue 16 of that series on page 10. We get Zatanna in Absolute Wonder Woman number 16. So Absolute Zatanna. Really like the design. Very unique. Has bits of the typical Zatanna flair, but a little more witchy, a little more Wiccan than what we're used to getting from her. I really dig it.
You move to reverse the fishnets up to the upper half of her body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Really just changes the whole dichotomy of it all, but very absolute of them. So season of the Witch arc begins here. After her exploits in the Area 41 maze, Diana has resolved to not let her personal mission overwhelm the one she was sent to the surface world to fulfill. But a new threat has emerged in Gateway City, and it turns out the best thing to send to kill Wonder Woman is another witch. Zatanna is here, and Diana's life will never be the same. Really hoping she still uses backward language in the Absolute Universe, but we shall see soon enough. That's on page 11 there. And we get the after the aftermath of the Battle of Kansas in Absolute Superman number 15, Jason Aaron and Juan Ferreira. Page 12 there. Interesting that Absolute Flash is involving an alternate dimension. Would love to know which one we wind up getting here. If it's one we're familiar with or if it's a absolute take on something that we're already familiar with. But Jeff Lemire will let us know soon enough here.
Absolute Flash of Two Worlds, possibly?
Possibly, although this is kind of giving me like Negative Zone vibes more than anything else, but clearly it ain't because it's DC and not Marvel. But
right.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out soon enough in Absolute Flash number 11 on page 13.
All right. Al Ewing is treating us to Absolute Goldface in Absolute Green Lantern number 10. That's on page 14.
Yep. What's Goldface's Green Lantern history there, Murd?
Well, he was a crook named Keith Kenyon, who Found some kind of organic gold formula and coated himself with it in hopes that it would make him proof against Green Lantern's ring.
Okay.
Green Lantern just produced some Aqua Regia, which is a liquid that dissolves gold, and washed it right off of him. And then eventually he basically converted himself into living gold, and then he reformed halfway and became instead of being a robber, he was like a union boss, and he was kind of annexed into the Flash's rogues gallery from there.
Interesting. Yeah, he was also a random background character in Justice League Unlimited, the animated series. And apparently there was a episode of The Flash after I stopped watching it that involved Goldface. Episode 13 of season 5 apparently involved Goldface. So go figure.
Yeah, that's not surprising. Well, like I said, he became a part of Jeff Johns' Central City or Keystone City Flash universe.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
would have made sense that they would have used him on the show eventually.
All right. Well, Absolute Green Lantern issue 10 brings us that version of Goldface. And then absolutely no solicitation whatsoever for Absolute Martian Manhunter number 8 outside of the hunt for the White Martian. And what else do you need to know than that?
Something, maybe? I don't know if this was... they just misplaced the copy, or if this is an intentional slight. I don't know.
There may not have been enough to really make that one happen, but Absolute Martian Manhunter number 8 on page 15. Get Batman issue 5. So weird to be on page 17 and first get to Batman, but that's what's happening thanks to DCKO here. A night out with Bruce Wayne goes off the rails immediately for Dr. Annika Zeller. It seems her experimental Crown of Storms has her marked for death. If they survive the legendary 000 gang, they'll still have to confront the sinister assassin known as Lady Deathman.
Okay. Going into Batman manga territory there.
You better believe it. Yeah. Good on Matt Fraction. If anyone was going to bring it in, it was going to be him. So,
Yes,
Yep.
indeed.
page 17 of that, Batman issue 5. Down to Detective Comics 1105. Tom Taylor and Mikhail Janin introducing the Wyans anti-fear virus, which Batman takes drastic measures and seals himself inside an airtight suit to keep those around him safe while containing his desperate search for a cure. With the virus already taking hold and Batman's fears melting away, the world will soon see how dangerous a Dark Knight without fear is. Yeah, there's a reason why Batman is not Daredevil. And fear is kind of important to him with the whole "my parents are dead" thing going on. So, yeah, I don't want to know.
But Tom Taylor's going to tell you anyway.
Yes, he is. And we'll also get some Court of Owls action in Catwoman issue 83. Both of those solicitations there on page 20 with the wonderful caption of "Whoo, let the owls out." Whoo, 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 whoo. All right. Thank you, whoever wrote that solicitation.
Someone who remembers the Baha Men fondly.
Indeed.
We got to stop here quick on page 23. Superman Unlimited number 9. It's written by Dan Slott with art by Mike Naughton, which is a strong recommendation in itself, but it's also the first part of a new arc called Die Laughing, featuring the all-new Prankster.
Yes.
One of my favorite Superman rogues, and Dan Slott is going to make him relevant again.
Meanwhile, Steelworks sees some crazy shit on the horizon in Die Laughing Part 1. Yeah, I can say it. They can't say it in solicitation, but that's what they said.
Yep, that does seem to be the what that little Grawlix of symbols is supposed to represent. Yeah, Some crazy shit.
Yep. Excellent. Dan Slott, Mike Norton, how could you possibly go wrong? You can't. So pick it up on page 23. Action Comics issue 1094. Superboy reporting for duty. Mark Waid, Patricio Del Pecci on the artwork chores. As Superboy is called for his first mission for General Lane, Clark wonders if he made the right decision. Probably not. As tensions build, the U.S. government prepares a contingency plan that could put our hero down for good. Plus, Pete Ross has a secret, one he's reluctant to share with his best friend. Action Comics 1094, continuing the Superboy run of Action Comics by the one and only Mark Waid. And on that same page, the combined might of Batman and Superman face off against the combined might of Joker and Lex Luthor in the knockdown, drag-out brawl of a conclusion to the merger. It's composite Superman all over again with a much cooler costume. Much cooler.
Well, no, I have the beholder and all that.
Yeah. It's cooler, damn it. No. it kind of has like a nice Asbats flair to it. That's what I dig the most about it. The red color scheme with the bat cowl and everything. I'm digging it.
Brent's starting to rub off on you.
Oh yeah, yep. He's very happy. They're putting out pop vinyls of both Asbats in red and Asbats in blue in the not too distant future. So he will be purchasing those.
I'm sure he will be.
I believe that's for the upcoming Nightfall animated movies that they're in the process of making.
Oh, all right.
Yep. Either way, Batman Superman World's Finest, issue 47 on page 24. And we have a Wonder Woman issue written by Stephanie Williams this month. Art and cover by Jeff Spokes. Not sure if this is a fill-in issue or if Stephanie Williams is taking over the reins, but Wonder Woman issue 29 here on page 25.
Bit of time for Wonder Woman to catch her breath after all the Mouse Man madness of the last several months.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and at the bottom of that page, it's a new Wonder Woman Black and Gold comic.
Mm-hmm.
It's another one of these character and creator heavy color-focused things that DC does sometimes. There was Superman Red and Blue. There was also a miniseries called Wonder Woman Black and Gold. And here is a 40-page special with more of the same, with some great creative names attached to it. Tom King, for example. Mitch Gerrard's credited as both writer and artist.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen much of so far. Steve Orlando, Alyssa Wong, Jordi Belair, best known as a colorist, but also doing a script for a Wonder Woman story here. Mm-hmm. And art by the same Mitch Gerrards, Rossi Gifford, Karen S. Darbo, and Paulina Ganucheau.
Yes, indeed. Yep. Going to be some good stories, great artwork, and a whole lot of gold to be found here on page 25. Love me a good one-shot. Adventures of Superman Book of L reaches its 5th issue here. Philip Kennedy Johnson, art and cover by Scott Godlewski. That's there on page 26. And on that same 26, we continue JSA Year 1 with some Wonder Woman action thrown in there for good measure.
Yes, that's still a part of it. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming this is still Hippolyta.
More than likely, because that would make the most sense. By the way, I did want to mention in passing, earlier today, it was announced that Philip Kennedy Johnson is now officially Marvel exclusive. So after Adventures of Superman Book of L, we'll be seeing him over at Marvel in the foreseeable future. Don't know what he's going to be writing over there quite yet, but the contract has been signed, so we'll be seeing his name shortly.
Well, he's been doing Hulk over there. So
True.
Keep on doing that and maybe take on a couple of other projects.
I almost guarantee you he'll be taking over other projects as well, because you don't go exclusive and just do one book.
Right.
Yep. Jeremy Adams continuing on Green Lantern number 31, and this one guest stars Barry Allen. So we get the team up of the older Green Lantern and Flash duo that kind of started off the two of them being a team up in the first place. Looking forward to seeing what happens here with Barry in the Green Lantern book.
Mm-hmm. Always nice to see those two get together.
Mm-hmm. Of course. And then further down on that, an army knocking on Oa's door, as Morgan Hampton is now once again the solo writer of Green Lantern Corps as Jeremy Adams moves on to other things. So further Green Lantern Corps action in issue 12 of that on page 28. Jeremy Adams, Aquaman issue 13, Queen Mira rises. As Arthur continues to duke it out in the major DCKO event, the hidden kingdom of Atlantis at last emerges, but all is not well as Queen Mira finds herself face to face with the deadliest foe to attack their fair kingdom yet. New threats, new drama, a trip to the throne of Kahndaq, and the return of Black Manta. A lot happening in this issue. Aquaman issue 13 here by Jeremy Adams and John Times on page 29. Speaking of that Godzilla fellow and him being quite literally everywhere, Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong 2, issue 7, the Titan-sized conclusion of this insanity, can be found on page 31.
And a little bit early for Valentine's Day, but still in that vein, at the bottom of page 31 is a special called DC's Supergirl Next Door. Mm-hmm. It's just a 32-pager, but it's got an awful lot of creators for just a standard-sized comic.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a Supergirl romantic comedy. In this hot new anthology, join Supergirl and a host of love-struck heroes and villains as they bravely embark on quests for love, even if it means running through every rom-com trope to get there. You'd be hard-pressed to find 10 things to hate about this book, so pick it up this Valentine's Day. Or 2 weeks before Valentine's Day on January 28th.
Yes.
When it comes.
Well, you know, they wanted to put out a love comic on my birthday, clearly. So that just makes perfect sense for me here. So Nathan Fairbairn, a whole bunch of others involved with the writing and artwork on this one on page 31. And yes, a little bit early for Valentine's Day, but, you'll have time to buy it and then wait for actual Valentine's Day to read it. So why not? Meanwhile, Batman Green Arrow, The Question, Arcadia number 2 by the one and only Gabriel Hardman and drawn by him too. Issue 2 of 4 of this miniseries that is going to look darn pretty, and can't wait for it to be collected in full on page 32 there. Further down we go. On we are to the facsimiles. We get a facsimile of the first issue of Batman the Killing Joke by Alan Moore and Brian Boland. And Batman 676 in facsimile, Morrison and Tony Daniel, part of Batman R.I.P. there, all on page 36.
And then on page 37, we have the infamous Death of Superman issue, Superman number 75. We have the first appearance of the Justice League of America from all the way back in 1960, The Brave and the Bold, Volume 1, number 28. And the beginning of Jack Kirby's Fourth World with The New Gods, number 1.
Wow.
From the early 70s.
Yeah. Okay. Good facsimiles. Nice combo there. And on that very next page, for good reason, because they're doing it again. Page 38, we get a resolicit of something that I quite frankly never thought we'd see a facsimile of, and I might actually just straight up buy a copy of this, because the 50th anniversary Treasury edition of Superman versus Spider-Man by Jerry Conway, art by Ross Andru, Neil Adams, and John Romita Sr., available on January 7th. Full facsimile of Superman versus the Amazing Spider-Man, and then DC and Marvel present Superman and Spider-Man, which was Marvel Treasury Edition number 28, in full facsimile as well. That one was by Jim Shooter, with art by John Buscema, with a gorgeous cover by Romita Sr. and Bob Larkin. All that on page 38. Man.
Yep, it's good that we've come to another period of détente between DC and Marvel when they're willing to work together, because now is the time. Strike when that iron is hot and those dimensional portals are open, and just reprint these long-lost intercompany classics.
Absolutely. 100% on that. On page 39, we get the first volume of Hattush by Jeff Loeb, with artwork by Jim Lee and Scott Williams. This is only the first part. When will the second part happen? Eventually. But you get your first part here on page 39, collecting 158 through 163, and the Hattush Prelude from Justice League Unlimited number 1. No, I will never say Hush 2. You can't bake me.
Well, if they wanted you to, they would have, put the number on the outside of the name.
Exactly.
Where it belongs.
Yep. Yep, they knew what they were doing, whether they knew that they were doing or not. So
Yep, they're reaping what they sowed.
page 39 for that. And then Tom King and Belen Ortega's Trinity, Daughter of Wonder Woman in full. Available for you there on page 40.
And on page 41, something more from the estimable Shali Fish and artist Yancy Labatt. It's a second Kanga-Yu original graphic novel in a nice little pocket-sized 5.5 by 8-inch format. It's about a group of Kangas who are being trained as steeds for Amazonian warriors, including Jumpa, who is the chosen steed of young Princess Diana. It's very cute, very fun. It's good for people who enjoyed My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Imagine a handful of Kangas, kind of like the main six on that show, but growing up on Paradise Island with a young Wonder Woman.
Should be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I enjoyed the first Kanga-Yu OGN, and I'm going to enjoy this one just as much, no doubt.
All right, that's there on page 41. We get the beginning of the Boy of Steel adventures that Mark Waid has been working on with artwork by Skylar Partridge and Cyan Torme. They're on page 42. Collects 1087 through 1092 of Action Comics. 200 pages for $19.99. This one will not be actually on sale until March, but as with the case with mini trades, it is an early solicit. So page 42 for that one. And volume 8 of the worst team up to ever happen. And by worst, we mean best because it's Bizarro.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is the most epic Bizarro story to be told in years.
Yep.
By Mark Waid and Adrian Gutierrez. A bizarro plague is afflicting Bizarro world, forcing all the Bizarros to think forwards instead of in reverse, and to do the same as earthly things. And it's a horror show.
Oh, yeah.
In Bizarro terms. And the world's finest team has to assist the world's worst team in saving the Bizarro world. It's kind of a lesson in anti-ethnocentrism, if you will.
Yep.
Because the heroes have to keep reminding themselves they have no right to judge what the Bizarro world should be, or how Bizarros should think or act, or to impose their ideas of normativity upon them. And so Waid handles it well. It's good fun, and there's a message in there too.
Yep. And that's all there on page 43. All right. We got the second volume of The New Gods, Edge of Darkness by Ram V. That's 7 through 12 of that ongoing. Mr. Terrific Year 1 in full. All 6 issues of that Year 1 of Mr. Terrific, finally getting his origin story in full on comic book form on page 45. And then the DC Finest is a good selection this month as well.
Oh, yes, I'm excited about both of these on page 46. Some Bronze Age classics. DC Finest, The Demon, Birth of the Demon, which gives us, it's essentially a Demon in the Bronze Age omnibus here. It collects all 16 issues of Jack Kirby's own run on Etrigan the Demon, plus a few incidental appearances of Etrigan elsewhere, usually involving Batman, in Batman Family, The Brave and the Bold, Detective Comics, and even a 3-issue arc in Wonder Woman.
Yep.
And down below that, we have some early Bronze Age Flash stories in a collection called The Flash, the Fastest Man Did, written by Robert Kanigher and featuring the beginning of the long-running association of writer Carrie Bates with Barry Allen.
And we also get the Flash Rebirth DC Compact Comics Edition, continuing the compact collections. 5.5 inches by 8.5. This is Jeff Johns and Francis Manapul's Flash run from a couple of years back. And also getting the beginning of Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo's Nightwing in compact edition. And if anything deserves that treatment, it is most definitely this. Easily the best Nightwing of the past, I'd say, 20 years, quite frankly. So, yeah, great stuff.
I would agree. And I also agree that this is definitely deserving of a special collection edition of some kind. So this is collecting the beginning of that run, then?
Yes, indeed. Yep.
All right, great way to get it on the ground floor. I hope all the covers are included.
Oh, I hope so too. Absolutely. Speaking of absolutely, pun accidentally intended. Superman Man of Steel by John Byrne gets the Absolute Edition this time around. This is 328 pages for $100 in celebration of its 40th anniversary. Experience the landmark tale fully remastered and in the biggest format, featuring an extensive art gallery of never-before-seen pencils, original artwork, and more. So page 48 there brings Man of Steel back in print in absolute form. And this is a very pretty slipcase edition to have of it. All right. Elseworlds Batman Omnibus Volume 1. Really digging the cover there. As we get a whole bunch in here. Batman Gotham by Gaslight, Batman Holy Terror, Batman and Dracula Red Rain, Batman Master of the Future, Batman the Blue, the Gray, and the Bat. Robin 3000 is in this. both issues of that. Batman Houdini, The Devil's Worship, Batman Dark Joker, The Wild, and Batman The Darkest Night, Catwoman Annual in there, a Detective Comics Annual, a whole bunch of other stuff as well. So if you really like your alternate universe Batman, this is going to have you covered. 1,384 pages of Not for Shane action for $175 on page 50.
Wow, yeah, that's quite a package there.
Yep. To say the least. And then underneath that, Mariko Tamaki's Supergirl Being Super collected in I mean, it's recollected, that is, with artwork by Joelle Jones. Mariko Tamaki has really blown up over the past couple of years, and this was a kind of an all-ages take on Supergirl that she did a couple of years ago that really worked incredibly well, reissued here for 2026.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I remember enjoying that series a good bit.
Yep. All right, and then we'll do the Batman Golden Age Omnibus real quick here. Don Cameron with artwork by Dick Sprang and Jack Burnley with a lovely sketch by Darwin Cook as the cover there for the Golden Age Omnibus Volume 3 on page 52. Collecting Detective Comics 75 through 92, Batman 16 through 25, and World's Finest Comics 10 through 14. Also includes a foreword by iconic Batman artist Dick Sprang as part of that.
Very glad Mr. Sprang is still with us to be writing forewords.
Agreed entirely. 2026 edition, speaking of Wolfman and Perez, we're getting this back in print. It's the New Teen Titans Omnibus Volume 2. The stories that changed the Titans forever. It is branded as here. As this is issues 21 through 41 of the original New Teen Titans run, and also the crossover issue between them and Batman and the Outsiders, which was Batman and the Outsiders issue 5, including an introduction piece from Wolfman himself. And that concludes the DC catalog.
There you go. There's the second half of that Titans run covered by the Image Artist Edition that was solicited elsewhere. So if you wanted to actually read the whole comics, this volume has about half of that in there for you.
Absolutely. All right. What does Marvel have for us this month? Well, for one thing, we got ourselves some new Iron Man, and this was Iron Man that was originally solicited or told about back at New York Comic Con. And the wonderful Joshua Williamson brings us a brand new take on Iron Man with Carmen Carnero as the artwork behind it. Kind of bringing Iron Man back to his basics in a lot of ways. The unapologetic Iron Man is once-in-a-lifetime hero, but the beating heart behind the armor is a once-in-a-century genius. Years ago, Tony Stark was knocking on death's door, so he created the Iron Man armor to survive. What happens the next time death comes calling? What weapon does he create then? What if someone else creates it first? These questions have haunted Tony for years, a ticking time bomb inside of him waiting to explode. Femme fatale Madame Mask has also asked these questions. With the power of AIM behind her, she's ready to create the next great weapon. Yeah, this sounds really good.
Yep, I'm liking some of the faces that were being teased will be making appearances here. I can see Citizen V and Techno lurking in the background. Some version of War Machine will be involved.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is going to be, tapping parts of Iron Man's history and his place in the Marvel Universe that more recent autoristic and self-involved creator takes on the character have kind of left on the sidelines. I think Williamson is going to give us a more universe-integrated and accessible take on the character, and I'm certainly there for it at this point.
Absolutely.
Especially if he's bringing in anything having to do with Thunderbolts.
I'll be honest with you, and I mean, I know it may just be the bringing in Thunderbolts part of it all, but like this gives me Busiek vibes. And I hope I'm right, because that's still some of my favorite Iron Man to this very day. And maybe that's exactly what we're going to wind up getting. So who knows?
Well, bringing in Madame Mask feels like a pretty Busiek move too. So,
Yep. The armor itself is really nicely designed here. Shades of like the mid 2000s armor, but a little bit more streamlined, and some of those 80s elements in there as well. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing where this is going to go here. So, page 3 there for the Iron Man solicit, and some preview pages look really, really beautiful as well. Damn fine artwork. All right, we get the final issues of Ultimate Black Panther, that's issue 24, Ultimate X-Men number 23, Ultimates number 20, issue 2 of Ultimate Endgame, and Ultimate Wolverine issue 13, as the catalog begins, essentially. So after that, so basically pages 14 through 15. Pages 4 through 15 have full Ultimate solicitations on there. And the Miles Morales Spider-Man number 42 apparently has the Ultimate Universe colliding with 616, where sometimes it takes two Spider-Man to do whatever a spider can, but Peter Parker and Miles Morales together might not be enough to overcome what arch-foe Rabble has in store. Don't miss this epic grand finale to the Rabble saga in page 16, Miles Morales Spider-Man number 42 by Cody Ziegler. Then Al Ewing and Tom Waltz bring us Null, number 1 of 5, with Juan Ramirez on the artwork chores. Excellent team there to work on something very, very Thor, and that is exactly what Al Ewing does best. So this looks like it could be damn good.
Yeah. And he's been writing Venom. He's been writing Thor. This is kind of a collision of the two corners of the Marvel U. So bring it on.
Absolutely. Weakened from his last death, trapped by the enemy he never expected, the God of the Void waits in a cage once again. His captors think Null has nothing to fight back with, but in Null's hands, nothing is a weapon. There's a greater weapon out there waiting for the King in Black to take it and take his revenge. Null issue 1 of 5 here on page 18. Meanwhile, Jeff Loeb continues his X-Men of Apocalypse. Then we get to issue 3 of that on page 20. Into the Savage Land, the Age of Apocalypse Savage Land, that is, not the regular 616 Savage Land. Got to make that clear. Tim Seeley knows how to draw. Well, he does know how to draw attractive women, but he also knows how to write them. And now he gets his opportunity with Psylocke here. Psylocke Ninja number 1 of 5. Artwork by Nico Leone with Tim Seeley on the writing. And this is Betsy Braddock. So this is flashback to a time when Psylocke was reborn into the Ultimate Killing Machine. So Asian Betsy Braddock with the incredibly revealing outfit in her early ninja days, filling in a gap in her backstory that Tim Seeley is going to tell us here with this 5-issue mini.
And tying Betsy's use by the hand into Elektra's involvement with that organization. So
Yeah.
that's a good angle to explore.
It is indeed. Yep. That starts there on page 22. It's the Marvel Retro pick, Leve.
Well, it is that.
It
For
is.
those of you who remember fondly, this interpretation of Betsy Braddock, and would rather see her doing this than flying around as Captain Britain these days. This is just the blast from the past you've been waiting for.
Yep. On page 24, some of my favorite creators involved with this Side Dimensional Rivals miniseries, starting here with issue 1 of 5. Peach Momoko, yeah, sure. I mean, Peach Momoko's fine, but Ann Moore is involved with this. And on both writing and artwork, and the variant covers by TBA. So, like, you can't go wrong with that. And it just sounds like it's just going to be one of the greatest things ever made.
Right. It's a veritable who's who of who's who.
Yeah.
We laughs to keep from crying.
Exactly. If you don't have anything to solicit, don't solicit. But Peach Momoko is the main voice behind this, and she's the one that people are going to ensure that people know, because they're going to buy it because her name is on it. But in Almost Dreamlike World, Peach Momoko has assembled a collective of artists all telling one story with many parts as Sai makes her way through the multiverse. A true spectacle of the comics medium unlike anything you've ever seen. No, we don't know who's in it, but either way, it's going to be something hopefully worth reading. 5-issue miniseries, Side Dimensional Rivals, on page 24. And then, of course, Classified, Dungeons of Doom. Wow, number 1 of 3. My WCW loving heart goes back to one of the stupidest stables they ever had. After Hulk Hogan first joined the WCW after being in WWF/E, they got together the Giant, Kevin Sullivan, a literal Yeti that they called the Yeti, and a couple of other useless people that weren't doing anything else, and called them the Dungeon of Doom, and it was basically as cartoony as it could possibly be. Now we get Dungeons of Doom, number 1 of 3 here by Philip Kennedy Johnson and Benjamin Percy. So probably going to be better than that.
Oh, yeah. There's a couple of quality artists involved, too, apparently, like Carlos Magno and George Gianti. And, yeah, it's a 3-issue miniseries. It's the fallout of the One World Under Doom story. Yeah, the superpowers of the world race to claim and control the untold power and technology that await beneath Castle Doom, but when an explosion sends them all plummeting into a dungeon labyrinth, what began as an arms race becomes a terrifying game of survival. I'm interested to know which actual characters are going to represent these global powers.
Yep.
Like, who is actually going to be trapped down there?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yes, and what kind of chemistry are Johnson and Percy going to squeeze out of them?
Yep.
So I'll definitely at least be giving the first issue a look.
Absolutely. Yep. 3-issue mini. It'll be a little bit less classified when the second issue is solicited, I assume. And page 26 for Dungeons and Doom, number 1 of 3. This is interesting. Luna Snow, Greg Pak, Ario Anindito, and Takeshi Miyazawa on the artwork chores. This is Luna Snow World Tour, number 1. As the world recovers from Dr. Doom's takeover, K-pop star and ice-wielding superhero Luna Snow hits her lowest low yet. So she takes her music into her own hands and hits the road. When a new K-pop star appears on the scene with music that's so catchy it's criminal, Luna has to shift into hero mode to defend the very fans who can't stand her. Can she win their hearts and save the day? And which beloved Marvel heroes will join her along the way? It better damn well be Dazzler. But we shall see. Also, this sounds way too much like the plot of K-pop Demon Hunters, but I know what they're doing.
Yes, sadly, even I know what they're doing.
But hey, it's Greg Pak. I'm sure it's going to be fun either way. So, Luna Snow World Tour, number 1, page 27. Jed MacKay, The Age of Revelation Epilogue, as the shadows of tomorrow begin to form. Tony Daniel on the artwork for this one. How about that? Tony Daniel on X-Men. Been a while. One X-Man of the present has been stranded in the Age of Revelation, fighting against impossible odds in the world of tomorrow. But while they've been there, what has their future counterpart been doing in their body in the present? Uh-oh. Find that out in X-Men number 23. Then in 24, bring on the bad guys. And by bad guys, we mean bad guys, because there's a lot of them on this picture. So, wake of Age of Revelation, the gene terrorist group 3K has been revitalized, but will their internal schemes undo them? I'm still thinking that may not be Magneto on this cover, that it may very well be Joseph.
Could be. Anything goes in these remixed X-Men comics of today.
Yep. But that is most definitely Cassandra Nova on that cover, and that's usually a problem. So,
yes, to say the least.
X-Men number 24 there on page 29, and Gail and David Marquez continue their story as well as Mean Girl Mutana. A festive event is interrupted by the Daughter of Darkness herself. She has an unimaginable favor to ask the Uncanny X-Men, and woe betide them all if they refuse. Two-part connecting foil variant cover on this one as well. But Uncanny X-Men number 22 on page 30. Wolverine is in earth tones. I repeat, Wolverine is in earth tones. Number 14 here of Saladin Ahmed's current Wolverine run, and he encounters Silver Sable and the Morlocks for that matter. Okay.
He's nice.
He's very nice. And Tim Seeley, I saw this advertised at New York Comic Con. This is going to be interesting. Inglorious X-Force. Tim Seeley, Michael Maria. Okay,
Santa.
I
Michael
know.
Santa.
I know. It's just every time. Michael Santa.
It's not like Hitouche. I mean, this is a legit abbreviation.
You're correct. Michael Santa Maria on the artwork, cover by Jason Burrows. But Inglorious Vengeance is how this is described. Cable returns from the future with a handful of clues and gaping holes in his memory. An assassination is at hand, and it's up to Helverine, Archangel, and his former teammate Boom Boom to follow Cable's lead into the fire. But who are they after, and what secret does Cable's faulty memory hide? Be here for the ground floor of the mystery, and strap in for the most extreme thrill ride in Xdom as an all-new X-Force blazes into battle.
Yeah, I kind of like the sound of this.
Yeah, it sounds just wacky enough. And kind of gives Cable the Bishop treatment of holes in memory. Like, why am I here? Why am I doing this? Well, we'll have to all find out as a team here with Inglorious X-Force on page 32. I like that design of Boom Boom's new outfit.
Yeah, it's just nice to see Tabitha again in any way. But yeah, I agree. That is a great outfit for her. It's retro.
Rogue getting a miniseries as well. Erica Schultz and Luigi Zagaria on the artwork chores. As you can't outrun the past. As she's enjoying her sweet life with Remy, there's still skeletons in her closet, ones that come out when she least expect it. Rogue has worked so hard to leave her villainous past behind. Unfortunately, the past doesn't stay in the past. What happens when it slams you right in the face? What past sin would make Rogue leave Haven House? Do Mystique and Destiny hold the answer? All that and more in Rogue number 1 of 5. Page 34 for that.
Wow. Preview art makes it look like she's fighting a giant possum monster.
Why not?
I think we're due for one of those.
Oh, yeah, of course. And in case Wolverine Black, White, and Blood wasn't black, white, and bloody enough for you, now we get Logan Black, White, and Blood. Tom Waltz, Saladin Ahmed, and Larry Hama himself returning to Wolverine, along with Adam Kubert, Alex Linz, and Dave Wachter.
Hey, it's got that Wachter factor.
Yeah, it do. 4-issue mini that will be red, white, and a lot of red.
Ooh. It looks like there's some period stories in here.
Indeed.
Logan's never-before-revealed military service during the 50s, and also a mission in seedy 1970s Times Square.
Hell yeah. That should be a good setting for Adam Kubert to go nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I like it.
Me too.
Further down we go. Black Panther Intergalactic, number 2 of 4 here. Victor Laval and Stefano Nisi continuing their 4-issue mini on page 40. We also are continuing to find out who the new true Sorcerer Supreme is going to be. And writer M and artist M continue to tell the story. Yes. Please pay no attention to the man behind the artist or writer.
The great and powerful editorial has spoken.
Indeed. Yeah. Sorcerer Supreme, number 2 on page 42. The beginning of the Witch's Road journey in Wiccan Witch's Road, number 2 of 5 there on page 43. And the end of 2099 continues as well on the next page, page 44. Steve Orlando and Ibrahim Robertson. Invincible Woman continues her solo story inside of Fantastic Four. Ryan North and Humberto Ramos, The Invincible Woman, Part 2, Fantastic Four, number 7. And Ryan North continues to have Hulk smash everything with a badass cover by Adam Kubert. It's been a while since I've seen Adam Kubert draw the Hulk. I missed that.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, good stuff. Page 46 for that. 1776 reaches its 3rd issue of 5. Liberty or death, quite literally. Morgan Le Fay still messing with stuff.
I'm still hoping that Steve Rogers' Revolutionary War ancestor Steve Rogers shows up.
I hope so.
Just wait and see.
Always love when Steve Rogers hangs out with Steve Rogers. Page 48 for that JMS action there. Down we go. JMS again. Amazing Spider-Man Torn, issue 4 of 5. It's the end of the world as we know it. And Spider-Man feels fine. We'll find out. Page 52 there. And we're getting a Amazing Spider-Man annual by Saladin Ahmed, Joe Kelly, and others, along with Federico Vincentini. Rapid Responders. Spider-Man shows new speedster Rapid around the friendly neighborhood. They've got a lot to learn about the superhero game. Nice fun annual there on page 53. And the 5th and final issue of Spider-Man 94, Till the Ends of the Earth. Final battle between Spider-Man and Morlun, and you won't believe how it ends.
Okay, a Saturday morning version of Morlun.
Indeed. Yep. And Kane, for good measure.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And we'd never gotten clones in Spider-Man 94 outside of alternate universe clones. So this is the first time that's happening in Spider-Man 94.
Yep. Plus one of the most heartfelt endings you'll see all year. And with DeMatteis writing it, I actually believe that.
Page 54 for that. Ooh, G. Willow Wilson gets to write some Daredevil. All right. With Gleb Melkinoff on page 55 there. Black Cat issue 6, Dance with the Devil in the Pale Moonlight.
Right. I just like the sound of it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're doing a Marvel Rivals mini here. Marvel Rivals, The Cities of Heaven by Paul Allor, penciled by Michael Shelfer and Eric Gopster. Luna Snow is back in this as well as she's in search of a heavenly venue. Page 57. So if you weren't getting enough Luna Snow, you have at least one more title with her in it. How about that?
Yeah, fair enough.
Let's go with the important facsimile of the month. Spider-Boy, baby.
Yes, with the second from the second wave of Amalgam Comics, Spider-Boy team up, featuring a whole legion of amalgamated, Marvel and DC's mashed up future teen characters.
Yep.
The Legion of Galactic Guardians 2099.
Love it. Man, Carl Kessel and Roger Stern are your writers behind this, and Jose Ladrone on the pencils. This was so much fun back in the day, and I'm glad to see a full facsimile of it. So they've long since settled their dispute over the name of Spider-Boy, as you well know, because Marvel has their own Spider-Boy now, but at least the Amalgam one can continue to be, facsimiled. And it is indeed happening here on page 58. And issue 6 of Civil War on that same page. On the next page, issue 52 of Fantastic Four by Lee and Kirby gets a facsimile on page 59. Ooh, we have reached a milestone legacy issue of the Avengers. Avengers Legacy issue number 800. Earth's Mightiest Heroes mark a critical milestone with 800 issues. Thanks a lot of shipping 2 issues per month. Everything has been building towards this. Myrddin's Endgame. And Kang stands revealed as the precipice of a new universe. Plus a surprise can't-miss blockbuster return creative team from Avengers past, which they are keeping under the wraps, apparently. Jed MacKay and surprise writer, and Fareed Karami and surprise writer. Surprise artist, that is. My brain goes one of two ways. It's either going to be Busiek or it's going to be Hickman, honestly. If we're going more recent, like Hickman's doing stuff for Marvel, so like it wouldn't surprise me if he just throws, if he's thrown into the gambit here for Avengers, considering how important his run on Avengers was not only for the Marvel universe but for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, maybe it's just the fact that we're getting treated to another ensemble cover featuring everybody who's ever been an Avenger. Mm-hmm. Very much like Perez's cover to the post-Heroes Return Avengers #1. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm leaning towards Busiek myself.
Yeah, who the artist is, who knows?
The artist of the cover is Russell Dauterman.
Yes,
I think this is the most straightforward and shiniest superhero art I've ever seen him do, and it looks great.
It does, yeah.
I mean, it is very Kevin Maguire-y.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. Well, we'll find out in Avengers issue 800 on page 61. And also on that matter, his Wolverine is definitely a send up to Cassaday. Even just looking at it, like that is John Cassaday's Wolverine basically on the page, and I am all for that. All right. Battle World concludes Christos Gage and Mark Cousteau in their 5th and final issue of that on page 62.
It's a great creative team, and I love seeing just random oddball characters thrown together to see what sparks are struck.
Mm-hmm. Battle World happening at the same time as DCKO? Say what? All right.
Yeah, Battle World is only 5 issues in ton.
Oh, I know. Yep. And meanwhile, Thor in the coils of the Cobra.
It's good.
Thank you. Yeah. Still looking forward to seeing exactly. Like I haven't started this one yet, but I want to know more about Mortal Thor and what's behind that. So, page 63 there of Thor #6.
Well, it's more of Sigurd Jarlson than we thought we'd be seeing in a long time. Mm-hmm. And Ewing is kind of revisiting some of Thor's classic Midgardian foes as well.
Nice.
Which I'm always in favor of.
Same here. Strange Tales #4 of 4 by good friend Jeremy Whitley and Bailey Underwood. Hella on Earth. Gotta love it. So 4th and final issue of that miniseries on page 64. And the 4th and final issue of Jimmy Palmiotti's return to Marvel Knights Punisher with Dan Panosian on the artwork there on page 65. Certainly looks pretty darn NSE to me. And I look forward to reading this one in full as well. All right. Scroll back down here. Frank Thierry and Stefano Raphael continuing their Alien versus Captain America miniseries, #3 of 4 here. Get some Kree involved with the action as well.
Yep, that's an element I was not expecting, and it's really kind of cool.
If we get at least one shot of Alien versus Brood, I will be happy. Because, come on.
I mean, it's right there, and it's been right there ever since the Brood was introduced in Frank Imitation of the Xenomorphs way back when. So,
absolutely. Yeah. Yep. That's all on page 69. Nice. And then as we head down into the trades, speaking of Mr. Ennis, Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon's Welcome Back Frank receives the Marvel Premiere Collection treatment. And that's available there on page 74. Frank Castle is a one-man army, locked, loaded, and ready to take down anyone in his way. This collects all 12 issues of this in pristine Premiere hardcover format. Yes. Make it happen. Absolutely. 288 pages, only $14.99 for this. Not bad at all. Oh, it's trim size 6x9. So I'm sorry, it's not even a hardcover. It's micro. Okay. All right, I take it back. I didn't realize that's what Marvel Premiere was going to be. When I see the words Marvel Premiere, my brain goes hardcover, but no. Lo and behold, it gets the mini treatment that's been working so well for DC. Marvel had it for a while, and now they're bringing it back for this, and they've done a couple others as well. As you can see here, the Hickman Fantastic Four has it. Black Panther, A Nation Under Our Feet by Ta-Nehisi Coates has it, and of course, Captain America Winter Soldier by Ed Brubaker is under that treatment as well. So, Welcome Back Frank gets the treatment on page 74. And Born Again as well while we're at it. Page 76.
And Planet Hulk while we're at it.
On page 77. All right. Wow. Okay. And the Visions, for that matter. Okay. So they're doing this to a lot of things. Tom King and Hernandez Walta's vision is excellent. That basically is the template for what we got in WandaVision in a lot of ways. And if you have not read it, it's one of my favorite Tom King things he's ever written. So that's now available in a tinier format on page 78. All right. Let's head down further along. See if anything new. Web of Spider-Man Omnibus. The Conway Priest Nicieza David years, basically, of Web of Spider-Man, mid-'80s. Web of Spider-Man 35 through 72 and annuals 4 through 6. Spectacular Spider-Man included as well, 143 and then 146 through 147, 150 through 153 and 158. Amazing Spider-Man 312 through 313 and 329, and Incredible Hulk number 349 in there for good measure. So I assume that these are storylines that went across the different Spider-Man books, and that's why they also included Spectacular and Amazing in there as well. Page 85 for that omnibus.
Yeah, one name I'm not expecting to see in under the writers there is Maddie Blaustein, formerly known as Adam Blaustein, who was the American voice of Meowth.
Oh, wow.
In the Pokemon cartoons. Yeah, and he was at one time, he was a trans woman, but as Adam, she was, again, a Marvel staffer.
Oh, wow.
I do remember that. And eventually got into voice acting and was also active in the American Communist Party, and an interesting individual.
Yeah.
So I guess somewhere along the line she wrote a Spider-Man story.
Okay.
And it's included in here.
Meowth, that's right. Page 85 for that. I'm going to go down to further along. Let's get to Marvel Knights, The World to Come. Chris Priest and Joe Quesada. A book that Mr. Eberly will definitely be owning, even if he picked up the individuals. The future of the Marvel Universe is here. This is Marvel Knights, The World to Come, issues 1 through 6. Lovingly drawn artwork by Quesada. I personally believe, and I've said it when we were talking about the individual issues, this looks like it's the best artwork Quesada has done in years. And it's Chris Priest working on Marvel Knights stuff, and Black Panther is included in that. So yes, absolutely. Can't wait to read this and experience it on page 90.
Yep, I'm sure Chris is going to have us talking about it on the show at some point too.
Most definitely.
Yep. I've been picking up the issues myself, and I'm glad to know that Joey Q has found that passion for the artwork again.
Absolutely. Page 92 has that Runaways miniseries that just recently happened, so 5-issue mini, Rainbow Rowell returning to the world of Runaways. Very happy to see that. And the Thunderbolts Doomstrike series that Kelly and Lanzig worked on with pencils by Tommaso Bianchi is solicited on the next page, page 93.
Yep, that was the only One World Under Doom crossover that I actually purchased.
Nice. Speaking of One World Under Doom, it's finally collected in full. All 9 issues that took 7 years to come out. It didn't, but I swear it did. Like there's somehow like a compacting of time that occurred where I feel like One World Under Doom, I've been talking about it since 2022, even though I haven't.
No. But no, I know just what you mean. There's definitely a time dilation effect attaching itself to that. It's certain crossover event type things just drag on.
Oh, yeah.
Even longer than they actually do.
Yep. Well, that's there on page 95. Northen Ramos's first volume of Fantastic Four, which is issues 1 through 5 of that new Fantastic Four volume, plus the Free Comic Book Day issue, is available on page 96. And we'll finish stuff off with Ultimate Incursion on page 100, which proves to be very vital to the current Ultimate Universe stuff going on. Denise Camp and Cody Ziegler, penciled by Jonas Scharf. And any new Epic collections? Yes, Punisher Epic Collection Survival. This is a never-before-collected era of The Punisher, back when Mike Baron was working as writer on The Punisher, along with Abnett and Lanning, Peter David, Terry Kavanagh, Chuck Dixon, and others. Pencils by Kevin Kobasic, Larry Stroman, Val Myriff, Dave Hoover, Huang Nguyen, and others. And this is collecting 76 through 84 of the 1987 Punisher series, the annuals 5 through 6, Spider-Man Punisher Sabretooth Designer Jeans, and Punisher A Man Named Frank. So all collected there, 456 pages of Punisher for $50. Always nice to see an era that has not been collected before in the trade format. And Epic Collection of the beginning of Simonson's run on Thor. 337 through 356 of the Thor series here on page 107. That's volume 13 of the Thor Epic Collections. Starting off Simonson's run, his breathtaking, groundbreaking run on Thor. That's well regarded as one of the greatest Thor runs of all time there on page 107. And the Micronauts, the original Marvel years, The Long and Winding Road, volume 4. This concludes his legendary run, Bill Mantlow's legendary run, along with Butch Guice on the Micronauts. Final issues here, 51 through 59 of Micronauts, the series that we never thought we'd see republished, got republished shortly after we did an episode on it. So, go figure. Page 109, Micronauts Epic Collection, the original Marvel years, The Long and Winding Road. That's volume 4 of the Micronauts Epic Collections.
Yep, sounds like there's one more such volume to come after this one.
Yep. All right, so that's it for Marvel. Let's touch on Dynamite real quick. Not a lot going on in Dynamite this month.
One or two important things, though.
Oh, sure, yeah. For one thing, they have a catalog this month. So after last month of not having one, all of a sudden they do again. So Thundarr the Barbarian by Jason Aaron. Words I never thought I would speak in my life, but they're happening. And artwork by Kuber Ball. And Thundarr the Barbarian by Jason Aaron. Okay, sure, why not?
I've never watched an episode of Thundarr the Barbarian in my life. I don't know anything about the show, really, but I'm going to try the first issue of this comic.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I did watch a little bit of Thundarr the Barbarian back when it was on Proto Cartoon Network back in the day. As back then, if you were a cartoon that you could very easily buy the rights to, Cartoon Network was going to air you, and that was part of this, like with the Herculoids and Thing Ring Do Your Thing era thing, all that. all that
Yeah,
stuff.
they had the whole Hanna-Barbera catalog at their fingertips.
Oh yeah, yep, absolutely. But yeah, this is on page 5 of the Dynamite catalog, with a Rob Liefeld variant cover for reasons on page 6. So yeah, it's definitely going to be some pretty interior artwork. I'll tell you that much. Even looking at it here, like this is some beautiful, bleak future rendering here. So totally down for what we're going to get here.
And now we have a new Nightmare Before Christmas ongoing series. Mm-hmm. We're meant to understand here. Dynamite's first ever ongoing comic book series set in the love of the world of the beloved film Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. There we go. Mm-hmm. Written by Torun Grönbeck, with art by Edu Mena. And the premise is that Christmas Town is going to try celebrating Halloween for the first time, and at the same time, Dr. Finkelstein has created terrifying yet somehow also adorable little polar bear cub named Shiver with super ice powers or something.
Okay, I mean the world is ripe for further stories in the Nightmare Before Christmas backdrops. So this could be pretty good.
Yep, it's been attempted a couple of times. I think a couple of things came out through Tokyo Pop, I want to say.
I believe so.
Some original stories there. Mm-hmm. But so here's Dynamite throwing their hat into the ring.
Yep.
And sure, I'll read along.
Yeah, absolutely. Artwork looks really good too. I say that as well because it's sometimes very hard to make the adaptation from claymation into, well, frankly, flats. And that's what we're getting here. And it does look enough like the characters, but also has its own personality and flair to it to make it its own inside of the interior artwork here by Edu Mena. So yeah, good work so far from these preview pages. And then the Gargoyles crossovers that make me happy continue. On page 13, Let's Get Dangerous. Gargoyles Darkwing Duck #1, co-written by Greg Weisman and Tad Stones, artwork by Ciro Cangliosi. Worlds collide as two of the most beloved entries in the legendary Disney Adventures, Disney Afternoon and Disney Adventures for that matter, but Disney Afternoon lineup of animated shows meet for the first time ever in a brand new title created by both series' original authors. This is beautiful.
It's something that just, it was an inevitability, or at least it presents itself as such very believably. Mm-hmm. And I mean, there could be no more definitive creative team for a project like this than what Dynamite is bringing to us here.
Yeah. Yep. After contracting a wary Morgana Macabre through her magic mirror, the scheming Demona whisks the uncooperative sorceress out of St. Canard and into her New York City lair, where she proceeds to grill Morgana for the location of a certain mystical tome with enough eldritch energy to allow Demona to finally conquer the world. Yeah. Thank you. Page 13 here, Gargoyles Darkwing Duck. Make it happen, baby.
Oh, yes, and Darkwing's ego trying to get along with some of the personalities on the Gargoyle team.
Yep.
That'll be fun to see.
And for something completely different, on page 15, Ed Brisson and Chris Campana bring us Thundercats Lost in Time. Ripped from their adopted home of Third Earth, the Thundercats Pomra, Neko, Lynxo, and Ligon find themselves trapped on the distant future world of Sixth Earth, a broken dystopian planet ruled by a totalitarian police state where cats are outlawed and hunted to the brink of extinction. So Days of Future Cats.
It writes itself.
Yeah, yep. Too good on that one. Yeah, but Ed Brisson, Chris Campana here, Thundercats Lost in Time on page 15. Again, cool concept. I'm down for it. And then Vampirilla gets a winter special We call it a winter special because it's happening in January, not in December, on page 17. Blue Falcon and Dynamite by Jimmy Palmiotti himself gets its 5th issue on page 21. And the 11th issue of DuckTales on page 23 while we're at it. As we get further down, we get some classic collections of Thundercats comics. From some Dan Fine writers and artworks while we're at it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, this appears to be a hardcover collection of all of the Marvel Comics, Thundercats comics from the 80s, published under the Star Comics imprint back in those days.
Yep. Yeah, David Michelini, Jerry Conway, Tom DeFalco, and more. Artwork by Jim Mooney, Brett Breeding, Jose Delbo, Ernie Colon, that is, and more. As you said, for first time ever, all 24 issues of the historic series have been collected in a single hardcover volume. And here it is for everyone to enjoy on page 28.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if this were in paperback and if I were as big a fan of Thundercats when I was a kid as I was of Transformers, I think I'd be snapping this up as much as I did Image's Transformers Compendia.
Yep.
As it is, I think I'll just let it pass by. But it's cool that they're bringing this material back into print all the same.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully there will be a softcover edition at some point as well so that everybody can sink their teeth into it. But it's over 500 pages of classic comics here. And enjoy it on page 28. Right. Peter Cannon Thunderbolt gets its 3rd issue on page 30. Van Lente and Jonathan Lau continuing their return of the Thunderbolt character, this time under Dynamite. And the Harley Quinn XL Virus series gets its 4th issue on page 33. All right. Let's see if there's anything else worth mentioning. I think the rest of it's all pretty much ongoing. We'll get the trades here. There's a trade paperback of the Army of Darkness Forever, Volume 2 by Mr. Tony Fleeks himself. Available. That's issues 7 through 13 of Army of Darkness Forever. And King Kong the Great War trade paperback by Alex Cox. Available in full. All 6 issues of that on page 47. And that concludes Dynamite. Get some quick Boom thoughts in here. Boom begins with Alice Forever After by Dan Panosian himself, Giorgio Spalletta, and Dan Panosian also stepping in there on the artwork chores. Alice faces her most perilous adversary yet, her own past. It's been years since Alice returned to the real world, now living peacefully with her endlessly curious young daughter Evelyn. Wonderland may now be a distant memory, but beyond the looking glass, things are far from what they once were, as the realm cracks and crumbles into decay. A resentful Cheshire cat seeks out the one thing that can fix what's broken, but this time, it isn't Alice he's set his sights on. With time running out, Alice will have to confront her past adventures before they claim her beloved daughter. So the further adventures of Alice in a Wonderland long down the road here by Dan Panosian. Alice Forever After, #1 on page 2 of the Boom catalog. Damn fine artwork, if I do say so myself.
Yep, it has a sense of humor.
Yeah, it do. And they sure did include a lot of preview pages of it. Jeez. All right.
Look at them all.
Fence Breakthrough Quarter Clash, #1. Continuing the ongoing Fence series. C.S. Pascat and Joanna the Mad. The competition heats up in the next installment of the GLAAD Award-winning sports drama about fencing. Available there for you on page 18. So brand new volume of that to be had. That's at a boom box for that. Power Rangers Prime will be reaching its conclusion shortly, as I guess that's soon to be wrapping up. But Melissa Flores and Federico Ceresa bring the 14th issue of that on page 27. VR Troopers gets its 6th issue as well, the final issue of that. Marguerite Scott and Sebastian Perez. The first time VR Troopers has been mentioned at all in many, many years on page 30, reintroduced in the Prime series, and the continuation of the reprints of the old VR Troopers Power Rangers flipbook facsimiles that Marvel put out back in the day, Fabian Nicieza and Frank Lavecchi, illustrated by Todd Smith and John Ross. They're on page 31. And that about does it for Boom. So we'll touch on a few things in the Lunar catalog, and then that'll be that. Hey, guess what? We talked about you already, Thunder the Barbarian. We don't need to talk about you.
Yeah, flip.
Get off that cover. All right. Abrams has a whole bunch of running stuff this month, but I will mention When Monsters Wake, Children of the Night. Book 1, graphic novel by Victoria Setian, illustrated by Savannah Gonisho. It's a thrilling, spine-chilling YA graphic novel, a modern spin on the classic horror novel Dracula. So it's basically YA Dracula, Children of the Night.
All right.
Why not? So if
Can't think of a reason.
Exactly. So if you're interested in something along those lines, they got it there for you on page 8. Down into Ahoy we go, and Ahoy...
We've got a new miniseries featuring Babs the Barbarian, which is writer Garth Ennis and artist Jason Burrows going crazy in kind of a Robert Howard / D&D inspired landscape.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Gotta love how many different genres Garth Ennis dips his toe into, I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes, and usually leaves them in worse shape than he...
Yeah. That's accurate. That's accurate. Babs the Black Road South, issue 1 here on page 16 of the Lunar catalog out of Ahoy. And then Jordan Clark and Atagun Ilhan's Ancestral Recall gets a trade paperback collection. Black History for painter Melvin Waring. It's an actual superpower. When Melvin's wife mysteriously disappears, he must call on the most important black figures of all time to save her from the futuristic Modern Living Corporation. A culturally rich, stunningly drawn graphic novel from 2 members of DC Entertainment's Milestone Initiative, Jordan Clark and Atagun Ilhan. That is what we get here from Ancestral Recall. Very interesting concept and premise there on page 18.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
Yep, absolutely. And a little bit early for Valentine's, Archie's Valentine's Spectacular OS by Holly G, Stephen Butler, Lily Butler, Glenn Whitmore, and Jack Morrell on page 20 here.
And it, too, is riffing on K-pop Demon Hunters.
What a shock. Okay, not that shocking. It's culturally relevant. It's culturally relevant. It's culturally relevant. All right, moving on. Robert Venditti. How does Bad Idea continue to come up with these really cool premises and concepts with some excellent creators and writers behind them? Robert Venditti and David Lapham. Page 22 here.
Hank Howard, Pizza Detective.
Yes. In The Two Hollywoods. Hank's investigation into a deadly international crime syndicate gets hot when a longtime Big Caligula's employee is murdered in cold blood. He'll stop at nothing to bring the killers to justice, journeying cross-country to the crime-laden streets of Hollywood. California! Yeah, it's not Hollywood, Florida. There he'll face off against the Australian Mafia, dodge fire-spitting flamethrowers, high-caliber shootouts, and a kangaroo on a choke chain, and the most explosive adventure yet. Yeah. Thank you. Hank Howard, Pizza Detective, The Two Hollywoods on page 22 of the Lunar catalog.
Yeah. I haven't heard of Hank Howard before, but I'd kind of like to track down whatever other story he's been in now.
Oh, yeah. And there was even a 3D edition, because why not? Fully 3D interiors. Hot damn. Mind you, the actual artwork for it looks great, as David Lapham artwork tends to.
Mm-hmm. However many dimensions it happens to have.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right. Further down we go. Bad Idea's got a whole bunch of stuff like it always does, but let's get a little bit further down and away from what we're talking about here to Matt Kint's Leave Now. Best-selling writer Matt Kint and visionary artist Tomas Giorello raised the stakes in the penultimate issue of their epic action-packed sci-fi saga. Save Now. Keep reading it as Leave Now, because I swear that looks like an L and that looks like an E. Get better cover treatment. But either way, Save Now number 3 on page 54. I think Leave Now is a better title. We're calling it Leave Now. Bad Idea. I love you, but you don't have to put so many preview pages in every single one of your solicitations. I mean, come on. They're
just trying to live up to their name, Ian.
That's true. Well, I'm just like, Leave Now. All right. I'm going to go with Space Riders Volume 1, previously sold by other distributors. I think they mean Diamond. But Black Mask is putting this one out on page 72, written by Fabian Rangel Jr. and Alex Zerit on the art chores. From the galactic core to the outer quadrants, one name strikes terror in the hearts of evil beings everywhere: the Space Riders. Sailing the cosmos in the skull ship Santa Muerte, Captain Peligro and his fearless crew deal harsh justice to the scum of the galaxy while searching for the hidden truths of the universe. This collects all 4 issues of Space Riders, the first volume of that, on page 72. There's a My Neighbor Totoro notebook and Spirited Away notebook being solicited out of Chronicle Books. They're cute, and I wanted to mention them on page 75. That is all.
Yep. Getting pretty passive-aggressive with this whole previously offered through other distributors thing, aren't they?
They sure are, yeah. Probably because nobody got to actually get their copies through other distributors. So now they're trying to make some money. Mandalorian and Child and Darth Vader and Son by Jeffrey Brown. Always adorable. Love these books. That's solicited there on page 77. There's also Marvel Super Graphic by Tim Leong. Delightfully entertaining and fresh look at the Marvel Comics universe through the mighty metrics of colorful infographics. Love me some infographics there on page 78. And again, these are all things that have been solicited somewhere else before, but Disney, they drew as they pleased, Volume 1. This is my bag. As the Walt Disney Studio entered its first decade and embarked on some of the most ambitious animated films of all time, Disney hired a group of concept artists whose sole mission was to explore ideas and inspire their fellow animators. They Drew as They Please showcases 4 of these early pioneers and features artwork developed by them for Disney shorts of the 1930s, including many unproduced projects, as well as for Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Pinocchio, and some early work for later features such as Alice in Wonderland and Peter Pan. Very cool. Gotta love when this stuff actually makes print, you know?
Some stuff from Walt Disney.
Good way of putting it. Yep, absolutely. They opened a Disney Vault.
Yep, I was going to say, I wish I could take credit for that, but, Disney did it themselves.
Yeah, they did. Yep. And this is the version he only took out at parties. But anyway, page 79 there for that. They're also doing the classic newspaper comics by Lee and Ramita in softcover for the first time in a die-cut vertical slipcase. Perfect. Each volume collects 1 full year of strips of the Spider-Man, Sunday strip. Yes. So glad to see these collected in any form, and the full solicitations on page 83.
Yep. Black and white dailies, full color Sundays, all from the year 1977.
Yep. Fan-damtastic. And partially from the Library of American Comics.
And they're doing the same thing with Dick Tracy, and they're soliciting 1941 in this. Yeah, 1941 this month.
Yep, on page 86 of the catalog. All right, and guess what? Time to go really fast, and you're not seeing anything. No, this isn't DC, we swear. We already talked about that. Why would we be showing you this again? Thank you. Very, very much Lunar Catalog. You already separated into something different. You don't have to actually include it in your giant-ass catalog. I'm just saying. All right, we're moving on. There we go. We're done with it now. Onward to Drawn and Quarterly. Page 151 brings us The Wood Chipper by Joe Ullman. An award-winning cartoonist confronts anxiety and regret. A longtime city maintenance worker keeps pulling an accident-prone newbie's fat out of the fire. Or maybe, in this case, an arm and another arm and a leg out of the wood chipper. What happens when nothing happens? Can a disaster averted still be a disaster? And nestled all snug, frazzled bookstore clerk Sasha prepares to close the store and head home to watch Hallmark Christmas specials after a fight with her boyfriend. That stack of boxes outside the bathroom seems a little precarious. Maybe Sasha will do returns when she gets back to work post-holidays. Flump, flump, flump. Guess someone is going to regret leaving their phone by the register before going to the bathroom. And in The Wood Chipper, Joe Ullman, cartoonist of groundbreaking Governor General Award finalist Fictional Father, returns with a suite of comic short stories focused on his trademark nervous wreck characters caught in a series of escalating personal disasters. That's what you find here on page 151. Flump, flump, flump.
That is kind of a terrifying concept when you think about it, in a mundane sort of way.
Yeah. Another name for that series could be Nothing Could Possibly Go Wrong. The answer is yes. Everything could possibly go wrong, but thanks.
Okay, and you're definitely not seeing Dynamite images right now.
No, of course not. Of course not.
Oh. This is a lengthy hallucination you're experiencing right now.
All right. And now we're not anymore, so there we go. All right. See if anything in Keen Spot catches my eye. Why not? Page 229, Otter Squad, written by Matt Fief and Matt Rogers. So the Matts. You've met Slaughter, now meet his Otter Squad. Blastquake, Shadowvolt, and Scrapyard. Deep in the heart of the Kozoltez rainforest, Slaughter leads the Otter Squad in an assault on the blood-worshipping terrorist cult known as Leech. But before the otters can strike, they're swarmed by the dreaded High Lord Odex Sem. And this is what happens when that happens. Otter Squad. They're actual otters. On page 229. They're not just called the Otter Squad, they are them. All right. Once again, need to point out Mickey Mouse Legacy number 332. Hey. Ripples in Time, part 1 of 2, by Francesco Vaca, Noel Van Horn, Bill Walsh, and others. This is a part 1 of 2 time caper with Mickey Mouse and friends. And even Mickey Mouse needs legacy numbering, as we pointed out last month, and it's still the case here on page 235. And, that Disney Afternoon Adventures cover of DuckTales.
DuckTales the movie.
Yes. Treasure of the Lost Lamp, Disney Afternoon Adventures Volume 6 by Bobby J.G. Weiss, John Lustig, Cosme Quartieri, and Ruben Torriero. And as pointed out, this is the comics adaptation of DuckTales the movie included in this volume of Disney Afternoon Adventures on page 236. Ooh, we got new Jamie Hernandez stuff. Locus, the Maggie and Hopi stories. One of the great American novels of the last 40-plus years, graphic or otherwise, created over 15 years from 81 to 96 in the pages of the legendary Love and Rockets, collected here in a new deluxe hardcover. So new to some, but new to this particular hardcover, Locust, the Maggie and Hopi stories by the one and only Jamie Hernandez on page 237.
Oh, and speaking of Los Pros Hernandez, the facsimile edition mania continues here at Fantagraphics with what they're calling a replicant edition of the very first issue of Love and Rockets from a good long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
1982, it says here.
Wow.
The 50th anniversary of the company. Oof. They are publishing this facsimile of the very first issue of that. It's 64 pages of comics reproduced in full color for a price of $9.99. And you know what? I'm actually on board for this. I don't think I've ever read an issue of Love and Rockets, but what better place to start than issue number 1?
Sure.
You're not going to find one of those just lying around your LCS either. So
Oh, of course, yeah. Yep.
it's good of Fantagraphics to make this available again.
Absolutely. That's right there on page 238. And part of me feels like because it's a replicant edition, there should be things slightly off from the original version, and then you have to go back and compare the two to see what they ever so slightly changed. But I know they're not going to do that.
You need to administer some sort of Turing test to it.
And, of course, R. Crumb, The Life and Death of Fritz the Cat, on page 239. We all know the insanity behind it, and this is the iconic comic that started it all, making R. Crumb famous against his will. The Life and Death of Fritz the Cat here. 96 pages, 1999, black and white, on page 239. If you want something that's really Kafka-esque, we have something for you on page 245. It's called Kafka. David Zane Marowitz and Richard Eponiesi are the text behind this, but it's a inclusive biography of Franz Kafka and summary of many of his works, all illustrated by R. Crumb. Page 245 for said Kafka.
Something interesting at the bottom of that page, too. Some Golden Age superheroics from a man not known for superhero work, Basil Wolverton. Yes, this is the adventures of his spacefaring character, Spacehawk. So he's kind of a Flash Gordon character who also apparently in the second half of his adventures came back to Earth in the 1940s and fought some Nazis for a while because it was the in thing to do.
I mean, yeah. I mean, everybody was doing it at the time. It was the new hotness.
Yeah, everybody was everybody. Mm-hmm. And so, this, Basil Wolverton doing some more, typicals adventure comics. Yep.
And back in print again, featuring newly designed covers. So Spacehawk here for any of you historians on page 245 of Lunar. And now I get to skip all of Image. Honestly, if you were to take out Image, Dynamite, Titan, and DC from this catalog, it would be half the size. Just saying.
Yeah. And, DCBS / Lunar does provide digital versions of all those catalogs anyway, so...
Exactly. Yep. All right, here we are. Made it to the end. Done. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Bill Sienkiewicz Premiere Edition of Essentials, Volume 1. Luke Arnold and Chris Doc Wyatt bring this. It's the Bill Sienkiewicz edition because it has a cover by him. In Essentials, mathematician Harris Pax predicted the end of the world but failed to prevent it. Now he's living alone in a bunker, and his niece's favorite toys have started talking to him. The good news, he's not the world's sole survivor. The bad news, the other survivors are trapped in an alternate reality, imprisoned in imagined worlds full of zombies, robots, mythical creatures, and chaos. And now Harris Pax and an unlikely ally must travel the country on a quest to restore reality, save humanity, and defeat his new interdimensional nemesis, Snuggles. This graphic novel from the lab ships in a gold foil stamped cloth slipcase for $50. So there you go. 319 page 319, $50, Snuggles. Essentials Volume 1, the Premiere Bill Sienkiewicz hardcover.
Well, I mean, there are rescue missions to alternate realities involved here, Ian.
Oh, yeah, of course. And the artwork looks fun. The entire thing sounds interesting. Snuggles, like how could you possibly go wrong?
Yes, Snuggles is half the appeal.
Exactly. Yep. All right. Let's scroll down a bit more into this. Onward, we go to Mad Cave. And we got a Gatchaman one-shot, Jinpei Henshin, by Tommy Lee Edwards, and artwork by Daniel Hansen. So when Galactor's new menace, Professor Toxoid, infects the God Phoenix with a biomech virus, Ken, Jun, Joe, and Ryu are fused to their stations and powerless to fight back. As a monstrous mecha beast crushes South City Harbor, the fate of Science Ninja Team falls to the youngest member, Jinpei. Armed with nothing but a spool of wire, raw nerve, and ninja science ingenuity, he must reboot the Phoenix before the team and the city are lost forever. So that's our Jinpei one-shot here. Gachibon, page 337. And the second issue of the Speed Racer Tales from the Road series, Mark London and David Paposi, on page 339 here. Some pregnant action going on. Quite literally. Defenders of the Earth by that Didio guy. And Alex Sanchez on page 341, second issue of Defenders of the Earth, Dark Destiny. Dick Tracy by Alex Segura reaches its 15th issue on page 343.
One thing about a page up there I thought was interesting enough to actually order this month. Where Does the Rainbow End by Francesca Prillo and Stefano Cardoselli.
Nice.
It's about a world in which humans and robots coexist uneasily. Gilda has been abandoned by her human parents, but fortunately she's been discovered in a robot dump and has been raised by the robots who discovered her. She was lucky to be found in the Rainbow Sector by robots that cared for her, but there's also such a thing as a dark cage, which is a region where hostile military robots live.
Interesting. Yeah, nice, uneasy coalition, as it were. Yep. Artwork looks cool. Concept sounds interesting. So, yeah, nicely done here.
Good robots, bad robots, and kids just wanting a family stuck in between.
I'm sorry, the TV watcher in me has to say it. Bad robot. All right. But yeah, page 344, Where Does the Rainbow End? The first issue of that available. And then right underneath there, Andrea Moody and Arturo Fabra bring us Astro Quantum. Cast out to die on the toxic world of Maku, young Ishmael finds an unlikely ally in the sharp-tongued Solomite exile Kui Keg. Together, they claw their way through the underground bazaars, brutal creatures of the galaxy, and bitter rivalries to chase a destiny bigger than either imagined. That is Astro Quantum, issue 1 here by Andrea Moody and Arturo Fabra. Artist is Andrea Moody as well. Page 345.
It's Moby Dick in space.
What? Call me Ishmael.
Call me Ishtar. Call me irresponsible.
Nice. All right. Well, I did say I was in a Frankenstein mood. Page 362, Mary Shelley trade paperback, Alessandro de Virgilio, and artwork by Manuela Santoni. The extraordinary life of the woman who created one of fiction's most enduring characters in full here. Born at the turn of the 19th century to the famous philosopher Mary Wollstonecraft, forerunner of the feminist movement, and William Godwin, Mary Shelley lived a life in constant fight from social conformity. Now in print for the first time in English, Mary Shelley, The Eternal Dream, chronicles Shelley's relationships with other important artists and writers, including her eventual husband, Percy Shelley, and the butterfly effect of love, hardship, tragedy, and inspiration that led to the creation of the infamous monster. Mary Shelley trade paperback on page 362. Great artwork to go along with it, too. And just to continue, I'll only talk about it quickly, just to continue our stories that randomly have Y's in the name of words that shouldn't have Y's. Bitchcraft with a Y. So there you go. Aaron Reese, Lima Carrill. That's all you need to know. It's Bitchcraft, but it has a Y instead of an I. Moving on. What's the favorite thing to do in comics? Add Y's to things.
Y's are the new gorillas.
Exactly. Vanishing Point, Mark Russell's sci-fi epic, gets a full trade paperback release here, 144 pages on January 21st on page 366. Gotta love me some Mark Russell.
Oh, yes.
All right, and My Soulmate by Wah Kay. Semi-autobiographical story follows Chung Chuen Ming, a dedicated assistant in the comics industry who aspires to create his own manhwa. Determined to pursue his dream, he quits his assistant job to focus on his personal project. Tragically, just before completing his debut work, Chuen Ming succumbed to a sudden illness. However, his story doesn't end there. His spirit lingers, driven by the unfinished dream. Throughout his journey, he encounters challenges that compel him to collaborate with a fellow novice artist, Chung Shan, leading to a creative and emotionally spiritual partnership. That's what we get here with the quite literal My Soul Mate, available on page 370. It's about a soul, you see.
Ah, yes.
All right. Get down a little bit further here, past Antarctic Press, and see what Heavy Metal has for us. The brand new Heavy Metal magazine, available on page 395. That's issue 4 of the Rebirth of Heavy Metal. So any of you heavy metal fans, you have a lot to look forward to there. And into Massive Indies, We Don't Kill Spiders by Joseph Schmalke. This is a full collection of that, where a witch and berserker detective hunt a serial killer during the Viking Age. Nice and succinct. That's all you even really need there.
Beautiful high concept.
Mm-hmm. We Don't Kill Spiders on page 412. Further along into the indies. Aerotech by Sean Haynes and Jeffrey Krawczyk. This is issue 2 of Aerotech. Aerotech's management is in crisis. Launch day for the Sex 6000 is closing in, and the prototype still has plenty of glitches. Enter Paul Taylor, a charming, handsome, fast-talking consultant. To Samantha, he appears to be the perfect mentor, but can she trust him? Deadlines, desire, and office politics collide in this wickedly funny, boundary-pushing workplace comedy of lust and technology. They say the next great HBO Max series. So okay. I would actually watch this, quite frankly, but yeah, Aerotech issue 2 on page 428 here.
Yeah, I love that cover. I mean, it looks like a beat-up old, crappy Charlton romance comic from the 60s.
Absolutely. Yep. Again, with the fake Comics Code Authority and all. Like, so good. Well, because there is no Comics Code Authority now, anybody can just slap that on whenever they want to.
Right.
Make something look
Public
old.
domain, you might say.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Absolutely. All right. Let's head down. Punk rock and comics, again, previously offered, but we'll mention it real quick. Definitive overview of the punk rock scene from its 70s beginnings in New York and the UK, featuring the Ramones, the Sex Pistols, Patti Smith, Blondie, the Stilts, and more. Available here on page 438 by Nicholas Finet and Terry Lammy, Punk Rock in Comics. And Will Eisner, a comics biography on that same page, if you want to get the full life story of Will Eisner.
Now this is interesting. We've just crossed over into Oni territory. And leading off their section of the book is a thing called Spirit of the Shadows, written and illustrated by Nick Cagnetti with help on the writing by Daniel Ziegler. And I've read something that Nick Cagnetti has done before. It says here Pink Lemonade is one of his past credits. I've actually read Pink Lemonade. It's fun, surreal, trippy, psychedelia kind of stuff. It's about a pink motorcycle riding action heroine. And now he's doing this thing called Spirit of the Shadows. And you familiar with the story of how Kamandi, the last boy on Earth, came about when Kirby was brought over to DC and started his Fourth World thing? And they asked him, the DC editors asked him to do something that was kind of Planet of the Apes, but not.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm imagining that if they had asked him to do something that was Phantom of the Opera, but not, the result would have been something very much like Spirit of the Shadows.
Mm-hmm. I can
It's
see
a
that.
5-issue miniseries by Cagnetti and Ziegler, and it tells the story of a musician named Eric who was dedicated to his music and his true love until his sudden death plunged his soul into the carnival-like torments of the spirit world beyond our own. Now, reborn as a phantom with fleeting memories of his life among the living, and forever cursed to wear the arcane costume his corpse wore to the grave, kind of like Boston Brand when you think about it, Eric will claw his way back from the infernal plains to uncover the mysteries of his own life and avenge the dark sins that transformed him into the Spirit of the Shadows.
Yeah. Okay. I'm earmarking this. When it's a trade, I'm reading the hell out of it. This sounds awesome.
Yeah. It's like I said. It sounds like what would if you're filtering Phantom of the Opera through like a Bronze Age Kirby lens.
Yep. Definitely. Yeah. Wow. Whew. Good stuff. Of course, now in my head, I'm going, the Spirit of the Shadows is here.
Watch out for fallen chandeliers.
Yep.
And right there is a trade of Pink Lemonade. Also
yeah.
solicited if you want to catch up on that.
Yep. And on that next page 442, some preview images of the insides of Spirit of the Shadows. That is some damn fine-looking artwork, if I do say so myself.
Yep, that same trippy color work that defined Pink Lemonade is in evidence here.
In fact, even, I wouldn't quite say it, but the design of this yellow and green character is giving me some demon vibes. So,
definitely. Yellow skin, pointed ears.
Absolutely. All right, do check that out. And meanwhile, Rick and Morty is still ending, apparently. Rick and Morty, The End, issue 2 of 6, Daniel Kibblesmith and Jared Williams on page 444. We still don't know what's going to happen once it does end, but I'm guessing it's probably going to a different publisher. But for now, Oni Press is concluding their Rick and Morty series on page 444. We'll see where it goes from there. And everything else is ongoing with Oni. Pink Monsters hardcover by Klaus Daniel Hermann. It's a moving and quiet coming-of-age story and the American comics debut of acclaimed German creator Klaus Daniel Hermann. Frank is 14 in the midst of puberty and slowly but surely realizing that he's gay. Despite his shyness, he is popular at school because of his talent for drawing. All the cool boys want an original drawing of his monster to hang in their rooms. Meanwhile, Frank's father is suffering from depression. His illness is so serious that Frank's mother gives up on traditional medicine and contacts an esoteric healer named Thea. The charismatic woman not only gives his parents new hope, but the emotionally insecure Frank also finds security in her secret knowledge. But when Thea blames Frank's drawings for her father's illness and later makes him feel guilty about his sexual orientation, Frank must jeopardize his relationship with his parents in order to truly become himself. That's the story behind Pink Monsters here. Full story in full, hardcover here by Klaus Daniel Hermann on page 453. Always love it when foreign creators make their way over to the States. All right. In passing, Punk Taco Adventures, Volume 1. I think I just described it to you. It's all ages. It's an animate taco. Like, come on.
That plays punk rock music.
Yep. It's raining tacos. All right.
Loud House.
Yep. Loud House, Volume 26, page 465. It's still happening.
Yep. They've made 26 and then some of those things, so somebody's buying them, and that someone is me.
Damn Skippy. There you go. Single-handedly keeping them in business. Job well done.
Yep. I'm the one. I'm the guy. They're even doing a Disney Sword in the Stone OGN thing here.
Yeah, they are. Yep.
Yeah, and I'm kind of torn about this. I thought about ordering this. The Sword in the Stone is one of my favorite Disney animated features. It's in my top 3, without question. But all the same, it's one of those things where I think the story Disney told originally is probably good enough as it is, and I don't really want to read any more about it at the risk of it not being as good as the original. So I just kind of decided to pass this one up when I was placing my order.
Well, on the bright side, at least it's not a straight-to-video sequel from 1992. You know, like I'd much rather this exist than one of those. Like this probably has more care put into it than that would have if it would have happened. So, yeah.
Right. It's not Aladdin 6, Jafar might need glasses.
No, my favorite is Lion King 4. I ain't lying.
Okay, so is that something they actually did or something that somebody made a joke about they're actually doing?
Oh, no. That's just me right now. So, yeah.
Okay.
But
it's a Levenstein original.
But it sounds real, and that's the point.
Yep, it sounds like a real bad idea that they might have considered doing, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Rocky 7, Adrian's Revenge. Yeah, the artwork does actually look quite good. So
yes, I was tempted by those first couple of pages there. It kind of looks like a medieval tapestry, like the opening credits of the film, in fact.
Yeah.
But you just know where you don't know where it's going to go after that.
No, fair enough. Well, page 473 for any of you folks who are indeed interested.
Mm-hmm. Who are bolder than I am. Mm-hmm. Oh, and that looks interesting too.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and by a friend of the show, Dirk Manning. And Ron Chaney, pencils by Joshua Ross. A lost piece of film history is returned with an official graphic novel adaptation. Originally released in 1927, starring the iconic Hollywood legend Lon Chaney. Last known copy of the murder mystery horror film London After Midnight was lost to the ages in the MGM vault fire of 1965, making it a holy grail of horror and film enthusiasts alike across the world for decades. Now in conjunction with Chaney Entertainment and SourcePoint Press, this legendary piece of film history has been brought back to life as a graphic novel based on the original screenplay, remastered and restored by Ron Chaney and adapted by Dirk Manning. So, yeah, this is as close to the original as we're going to get. Not bad. 476 for that. Some preview pages to follow that look pretty damn good. All right. Down we go into more Garth Ennis territory. Johnny Red, A Couple of Heroes. Written by Garth Ennis, illustrated by Keith Burns. Johnny Red's last battle. In the last year of a long and dreadful war, as vengeful Russian forces reach the German frontier, British-born fighter pilot Johnny Redburn, God, that's a Garth Ennis creation, leads Falcon Squadron in deadly strikes against the retreating Nazis. With all his comrades gone and his lover, Nina Petrova, lost somewhere in the maelstrom, the Red Devil knows his own doom is only a matter of time. Maybe the next mission or the one after that, but it's coming. And this is Johnny Red, A Couple of Heroes by Garth Ennis and Keith Burns on page 487.
Yep, this is the kind of story on which Ennis truly shines. Mm-hmm. It's where his heart lies, the war genre.
Oh, yeah, and I'm sure Mr. Eberly will be giving this one a look.
My thoughts exactly.
Also available, Johnny Red the Hurricane on page 489. Another war book here by Alan Hebden, Clash of the Guards. All right. I think we're approaching tomorrow's. We're almost there. See if anything strikes my eye beforehand. Some previously offered Bone action out of Scholastic on page 505 there. All the different Bone trade paperbacks back in the thick of it. I skipped Titan because guess what? I already talked about it. And then I'm pretty sure we are straight up going to be at tomorrow's. So here we go. Boo, 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 boo. Yes, the answer is yes. Here we are with tomorrow's. And tomorrow's comic book creator, The Secret Origin of Steve Englehart. In Comic Book Creator issue 37. Steve Englehart spotlighted in career-spanning interview. Romance editor Barbara Friedlander redeems the late, great Jack Miller, great DC editor. And Dan DiDio discusses going from DC exec to co-publisher. And then they conclude with a 100th birthday celebration for Arnold Drake, taking a look back at the 1970s underground comics oddity, The Funny Pages, and more, including Hembeck, page 548 for Comic Book Creator, issue 37. And then Alter Ego this month celebrates 25 years of Alter Ego. Marvel's
At tomorrow's.
At tomorrow's, correct. Marvel side includes mini interviews with John Buscema, Marie Severin, Jim Mooney, and George Tuska, plus Stan Lee's Dinner with Alan Resniss, annotated by Sean Howe. On the DC side, talks with Carmine Infantino, John Broome, Julie Schwartz, Joe Kubert, and Murphy Anderson, all from the history of Alter Ego. So that's all available there in issue 188 of Alter Ego. And finishing off with a Keith Giffen tribute issue in Back Issue magazine number 157 that I'm sure Shane will be picking up.
Yes, this is offered again kind of thing.
Yep, previously offered through Diamond, but in stores 1/7, which means it never actually made it anywhere. So Gary Bates, Tom Barabaum, Jim DeMatteis, Dan DiDio, and others give their full tribute to the late, great Keith Giffen in this issue. Page 549, Back Issue Magazine 157. All right, that finishes off tomorrow's. Quick mention, Udon Entertainment is doing a Mega Man X series. So Mega Man X Issue 0. Daniel Arsenault, Jeffrey Chamba Cruz. X generation of Mega Man gets his own comic series here by Udon on page 559. So any of you Mega Man fans, you've got something to look forward to. And looking through real quick to see if anything catches our eye on the rest of the book, but I think that is about it. That concludes Lunar. And once again, we have succeeded.
All right.
Excellent. How can two men put out a nearly 3-hour podcast? We find a way. Job well done.
Yep, we didn't streamline it at all, but we got it done.
Hey, I thought we were, because Image went nice and fast, and then everything else took long. But oh well, what are you gonna do? But either way, looking forward to a nice festive Thanksgiving. Those of you in the States here, I hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving weekend as well, and you eat some turkey or tofurkey or. What's the one where you stuff a chicken inside of a turkey instead of a duck?
Turducken.
Turducken. There you go. That's what it is. Turducken. Yep.
Duck inside a chicken inside a turkey, or chicken inside a turkey inside. Anyway, there's a layer of stuffing separating each bird from each other. So.
I also once had a pie cakin, which was exactly what it describes: a cake inside a pie, and that was an experience. That's an experience
I find myself envying, even as we sit here.
Well, and enjoy your turkey day, my friend. May you enjoy falling asleep at a chair while watching some sort of sport.
I'm afraid that's not in the cards for me, and I'm going to have some turkey and report straight to worky.
Well,
it's been my family's way for my entire life.
May you enjoy your turkey and not fall into a turkey coma while sitting in a chair at work. Then, how about that?
Going to be on my feet pretty much all day, Ian, but thanks anyway.
All right, well...
And happy Thanksgiving to you, too. Hopefully something more like what you were wishing for me.
Thank you. It'll be a Thanksgiving where there's absolutely no cooking done. We're having it at a restaurant with my family and Martha, and it'll be nice and simple, and Jacob's Pickles in Manhattan will be serving us the food, so all good.
All right. Have to let me know about what Jacob's Pickles has on the menu next time we talk.
Hint, pickles. But anyway, they have a full Thanksgiving feast. It'll be good times. We've done it before. All right, here we go with the credits. Email address for Comic Timing is comictiming@gmail.com. Facebook.com/Comic Timing is where you can join in on the conversation for this and the Comic Timing fan group. Please join it and talk comics with us. We very much want to hear your takes on things. Head over to Blue Sky and follow us at Comic Timing. Our YouTube videos are available at youtube.com/@Comic Timing Podcast. That's also where you can find Raph's shorts he's been putting out lately, where he basically pretends to be Murd and catches up on comics. You can follow us on Instagram at Comic Timing Podcast and Threads at Comic Timing Podcast as well. Thanks once again to Murd. Thank you all once again for supporting us on Patreon and elsewhere. And as always, there's always time for comics. turkey.
Timing was brought to you today by the letter Y.
And as Bob Sorgas will say, kill the turkey.